aggressive whenever there's someone new. Can't tell if I should block them or just let them through. The moments we're together, everything is cool. But at this point in life, I don't know what to do. I gotta know when to stay and when I should go. Learned my lesson a while ago. Where I'll end up, nobody knows. Should take it slow, move with caution along this road. Could be dangerous, I don't know. But at this time, I'm just trying to pick up the vibe. I feel like it feels right this time. Maybe not, I can't quite decide. But at this time, maybe I should just live my life. Let it go and enjoy the ride. Maybe not, I can't quite decide. Keep calm when the wind blows. I know everything gonna work out, so I aim up high when it feels low. I know it's hard to trust someone these days, and I know I go overboard when I think about all these things. Thoughts inside my brain, try to keep it sane. I gotta know when to stay and when I should go. Learn my lesson a while ago. Where I'll end up, nobody knows. Should take it slow, move with caution along this road. Could be dangerous, I don't know.
Hello everybody, I'm Thomas and welcome back to another Solo Gaming Sunday. This week, Gloomhaven Buttons and Bug Edition, where they just keep making Gloomhaven smaller and smaller. Someday they're just gonna make it so small just you can't even play it. It's not gonna be usable. But this is, this is the smallest version they got. So that's what we're playing here today. I picked this up at Origins Game Fair a couple weeks back, and I am excited to dive into it. I hope everybody's doing good. Happy Sunday to everybody, and welcome on in there, Katie K. Happy Sunday to you too. Running some errands, but I'll leave a work. I always appreciate that. Man, oh man, it's been a bit. It's been close to 2 weeks, I think, since my last stream, like 10 days since my last video. So I've been gone a while, and I do apologize for that. I at least, probably should have put a message in my Discord or something. And I've probably mentioned this in the past, but I mean, I do have a full-time job, and with my job, it kind of ebbs and flows with how much work I have, and also like how stressful it is at times, whether I have like a lot of deadlines and whatnot. So last week was one of those weeks where I just had kind of a lot of work going on, had to put in some extra hours. We had some stuff we had to get done by a certain time. So I was just like, you know what? I had already missed like the last week's live stream, and then at that point I was like, you know what, I'm not even going to worry about the video. I'm just going to put it off till next week. So I do apologize for not having a stream or video last week, but I will be doing the Gen Con video that I was supposed to do last week. I'll be doing that this week instead. So yeah, I'm here now. I've been out touching grass, just living life. I spent a lot of time yesterday outside, maybe a little bit too much time outside, and especially not with enough sunscreen on. If you can't tell by looking at me, I got sunburned pretty bad. Not too bad. I've had it worse before, but yeah, it wasn't until pretty late in the day that I realized I didn't have sunscreen on. And shout out to my one friend Ren that I was with that suggested he was gonna put some on and offered some to me, or else this probably would have been a lot worse. So you can see like my arm compared to like the underside, or you can even see, like, not trying to flex my muscles, but you can see like the tan line there. I got burnt. Spent a lot of time hiking and biking, and just I went to like a small little festival type thing, so it was a lot of fun. But I was very tired last night. I slept for like, I don't normally sleep super long, but last night I slept like over 10 hours because I was just sunburnt and exhausted. I did some driving and walking and biking and some drinking. It was like a brew fest. I had like local breweries, so but nothing too crazy. Hello there, Dean. Glad to see you back. Can't wait for the stream. Glad to see you. Hello there, Dallas. 2 hours left until one-page RPG jam. Farmer's stand, yeah, definitely a bit of a farmer's stand, but yeah, it's a pretty distinct line. You could also probably see, like, I had my watch on. I have a bit of like a watch line there. It's pretty bad. One-page RPG jam. I did not realize it was going on. So 2 hours until it starts, Dallas? Is that what's going on? So I'll have to maybe see what people are submitting, because that sounds kind of cool. Yeah, hope everybody's doing good. I'm looking forward to playing some Gloomhaven, even though I'm sure it's going to go very poorly for me because I am bad at this game. But yeah, what else have I been up to this last 2 weeks, I guess? Not too much crazy stuff. Board games wise, mainly just playing this. Haven't really been playing much else. I have been playing some stuff, but now I don't. I've been playing some Jump Drive on Board Game Arena. I like pulling that up every now and again just for some quick games. I've been playing Root on my iPad. Been trying to learn Root because one of the games, Gen Con's coming up soon, and I'm still planning on going currently. And one of the games I want to pick up that's going to be probably one of the games of the con is Arcs, which is developed by Leader Games, which has also made Root and Oath. And Root, I played a bit in the past, but I don't know. I'm not big on area control games, but it seems cool, the different factions. I never really learned the factions strategy wise and whatnot, so I never really got into it. So it has a great app, so I've been played through the tutorial, and I've been trying to learn the Marquise de Cat, that one, the first one, the easiest one, where you're building a bunch of stuff. And yeah, that one's pretty cool. Some of the other factions seems pretty neat, and yeah, I'm trying to give it a bit more of a shot. I might do a video or a stream on it at some point of me playing through some Root. But yeah, been putting together my Gen Con list because, like I said, I was supposed to do a video last week, so I had the list pretty much prepared. But I also wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. I've been watching some other people's top 10 videos. There's been a lot of good ones. Thinker Themer had a pretty good one that I had a couple on their list that I was like, I had no idea this was a thing, and I had to add it to my list. But I think I spent a good amount of time going through the Board Game Geek list of all the games at Gen Con and seeing which ones you could demo, which ones you could play. So I think I've got a pretty good list. But I also remember last year, there's some publishers that either straight up don't put their games on that list or don't do it till very late. So that's why I also didn't want to do this video too early, but now I'm kind of running into almost doing it too late. But we still got week and a half till Gen Con. That's coming up here soon. It's crazy. 2 weeks, week and a half, 2 weeks. But yeah, that would be fun. Well, I'm curious if I'll run into any of y'all at Gen Con. You'll have to let me know if you're going to be there, and maybe we can, meet up and at least say hi. I'm going to also probably try to spend a lot of time at Gen Con in the open gaming halls, because I really enjoyed the first year I went. I spent a good amount of time in them, and then last year I didn't as much. But this year I want to make a point of going into the gaming halls. I think it's mainly in the JW Marriott, the one that has the different cones you can sit on the tables. I want to go there and just play some games, bring some stuff along, play some new games that I get. I'm signed up for a couple of events currently, like Keyforge. I'm gonna do some Keyforge sealed tournaments, which should be fun. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I signed up for any RPG events, because a lot of them I was very late to signing up for stuff, which is totally my own fault. So a lot of stuff that I actually wanted to do, it was sold out by the time stuff came around. So yeah, that's that. What else? The Gen Con's around the corner. Been playing that. Been playing Root. This RPG wise, still been playing some Forbidden Lands. It's been really fun. I want to return to my solo playthrough here soon, because I actually want to do stuff with where we kind of left off after last episode. But what else? Yeah, I don't know. Lots of. I mean, not to get too much into it, but man, over the last 2 weeks since I last streamed, lots of stuff's been going on in the world, especially if you're in the United States. Lots of events going on. It's been kind of crazy, to say the least. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago with the assassination attempt at Trump, and then just earlier today, 2 hours ago, I think it was, so Biden announced that he's dropping out of the race. And I'm not trying to talk politics or anything, but these are just big events going on, and it's just the whole Trump thing a couple weeks ago was insane, and just following all the details afterwards was really crazy. And now just hearing today that Biden's dropping out, it's man, I'm not loving what's going on in the U.S. politics right now. I'll say that much. But once again, not really trying to talk politics, not trying to get into it. But I'm just saying, yeah, there's crazy stuff going on. Yeah, that's been stuff. Then what was it? Just over this last weekend, we had the whole CrowdStrike technology fiasco with, I don't want to say Microsoft because it wasn't really Microsoft's fault. It was CrowdStrike, the cybersecurity company out of Texas that caused like so much of the globe's technology like systems just to go down. It was crazy. Because I've probably mentioned, but like my full-time job is software development. I went to college for computer science, so I'm a tech guy. So when stuff like that happens, I like reading up on it and knowing what's going on. And that was just crazy to follow how much got affected and for how long. And just like it was like medical and airlines and education and package fulfillment. It's like all these different like sectors, and it wasn't just the United States, it was across the globe. Because of one not little mistake. There was, a lot of mistakes that led to the thing happening, but it was crazy. It was like a mini Y2K, except this thing actually happened. I mean, I technically was around for Y2K, but like not really. I was really young, so I wasn't aware of what was really going on. But that was crazy. And I'm very curious to hear what's gonna happen with all that. Like I want to know, like I said, as a tech guy, I'm curious what happened. Like, how did this bug get to production? Like, how did it pass quality assurance? Like, how do they not have like staged rollouts? How do they not have any like rollback features? Like, I'm very curious what went wrong, because there must have been multiple things that went wrong for what happened over the weekend. Crazy stuff. And I imagine there's probably gonna be lots of like court cases and lawsuits, because I'm sure there were deaths because of that, because it seemed like a lot of the medical sector was getting hit. I'm pretty active on Reddit, so I was checking on like the subreddits and seeing what people in the comments were saying, and they're like, oh, I work at this and this place and this is affected. And I mean, I had friends, family, I was texting, I was like, you guys affected? They're like, oh yeah, it seems like everybody was asking, they got affected in some manner. So crazy stuff going on lately. Gen Con kind of lines up a bit awkwardly with the other con I go to over Labor Day weekend, but I want to go to at least once eventually. A week ago. Yeah, Gen Con's such a fun con. I mean, I'm lucky because I live in Ohio, so Gen Con is in Indianapolis, which is right next door. So it's like less than a 4-hour drive from where I'm at to get to there. So it's pretty nice. I am definitely fortunate that one of the biggest and best board game conventions around is within a driving distance. Yeah, still gotta pay for like the hotels and whatnot, which is never fun trying to figure out. This year I got a decent hotel. Not as good as last year, unfortunately. It's not a connected one. Some of those are really expensive. Like, I know they jack up the prices for events at Gen Con, but like, man, some of the hotels they like really jack up, and it's like it's crazy. I'm just old enough to remember the Y2K panic, and apparently it was probably correct in a Herculean effort to roll out compliance. Yeah, no, like I said, I was too young to really know what was going on, but I've heard a lot about the Y2K panic. Love Gloomhaven. Hello there, Kardik. Finally catch a stream. Welcome on in. Yeah, we're gonna be playing some Gloomhaven Button and Bugs. Smallest version of Gloomhaven. I should have maybe pulled the box out, but like, look how small this box is. It's tiny. It's tiny. I love it. I just want to squish it. It's just so small. Yeah, we're about to get hopping into that. What are you saying? But yeah, I don't know what else. I think that's pretty much all that's new with me and new in the world, man. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of crazy stuff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing some Gloomhaven. I'm hoping to get a good amount through the scenarios. There's like 20 scenarios, but in a given campaign, you're not going to play through all 20. It's it's kind of divergent at times, where it's like if you're playing this character, then you'll play this scenario, or this character, you'll play this scenario. It might just kind of skip around a little bit. Yeah. Played a lot of this on TTS with Mevins and Liam. The OG, not this version. Yeah, the OG I'm not good at. I don't really like either, kind of. I mean, we'll see how this goes. I mean, I've been kind of liking this, and once again, I always kind of give a final thoughts at the end, so I'll go a little bit more in depth there. But yeah, Gloomhaven, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of. I never really played the original except the digital version, and then I got Jaws of the Lion, played that a little bit, didn't love it, got rid of that, tried the digital version some more, still didn't really like that, and I sucked at it. And now I got this version because that makes sense, right? I don't really like a game and I suck at it, so I keep getting more versions of it till it works. One of these versions has to work. But this is, I mean, this seems kind of up my alley, being solo only, quick setup and play. So I think if this version of Gloomhaven sticks, it's just not for me then. But I'm, you know, trying to keep an open mind. Brewfest was good. As you can see, I got very, very tan. I did not put on sunburnt. I did not put on sunscreen early enough, and yeah, kind of paid the price a little bit. But you know what? That's that's a warning to all y'all out there. If you're outside for a long time, wear some sunscreen. Though I'm pretty sure it's good to wear sunscreen like every day, even if you're inside, just because, you know, the sun getting through the windows, it could still be bad, even in small amounts. But I think like a lot of like lotions these days will just like put sunscreen in it in small amounts, just so you have a little bit of that. But yeah, first Monopoly, now Gloomhaven. Yeah, no, I mean, we'll see. But yeah, no, I'll tell you some more stories later, Kardik, another point about Brewfest. But yeah, it was a good time. I'm glad I went. I really enjoyed it. It was good vibes, good times, good weather, great weather, phenomenal weather. Yeah, did a lot of walking, did hiking, biking. I did it all. But yeah, I kind of want to stop jabbering and hop into this. Music is a little loud on my end. Hopefully it's not too loud on your end. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit for me. And I guess we'll also switch the music. This is like my intro talking music, but let's go to the best soundtrack around. Oh yeah. All right. So, Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs, the current smallest version of Gloomhaven, the fourth version of Gloomhaven. I don't know technically what version of Gloomhaven this is, because they did Gloomhaven, and they did Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, then they did Frosthaven, then at some point they did a Gloomhaven second edition, and then now we're here with this. So is this like it's, you know, they've done a lot of versions of this game, let's just say. But this is a very unique version, as you can probably see by the box. It is a tiny, tiny box. This is a small version of Gloomhaven. It's one player only, and it is very compact. Each scenario plays only in about 20 minutes, and I can actually say that it's pretty accurate. Sometimes games are not the most accurate in their playtime. And even though I am bad at this and I'm a bit of a slow thinker, I would say that's a pretty accurate time. So yeah, there are 20 scenarios in the box, but in a given campaign, you're not going to play through all of them. You're going to kind of jump around to certain ones or skip over certain ones depending on the characters you play or the choices you make. I don't know if that's 100% sure, because I haven't really played through a whole lot of the campaign yet. There are numerous different characters. I think all the standard Gloomhaven ones, but today I will be playing as the Bruiser. We show off some of the other characters, but we got all the I think the classics. Like I said, I'm not a Gloomhaven aficionado, so I don't know all of the characters. We got Bruiser, we got Cragheart, Spellweaver, Mind Thief, Silent Knife, and the Tinkerer. So there's what, six characters in all, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I just got the small little, there's the actual box that I just have sitting off to the side. Sorry, I'm just doing stuff off to the side. The game does come with a little small learn to play guide, but this doesn't contain all of the rules. It's more just as it says, it's more of a learn to play booklet. The actual rule booklet is online as a living rule book, I guess, on like a website. So I have my iPad off to the side of the screen with the rule book pulled up in its entirety. So I'll be probably referencing that a little bit throughout. But Gloomhaven, buttons and bugs, it's Gloomhaven. If you play Gloomhaven, you're going to be very, very familiar with what's going on here. There's some slight differences. If you haven't played Gloomhaven before, well, I'll tell you what's going on and what's what. In this game, we'll go through the kind of story as we progress a little bit, but essentially you've been shrunken down somehow, and now you're tiny, and you have to kind of figure out your way in this tiny world of adventuring. So on the back of scenario cards, you have the maps. Like, look at that. And yeah, this is where you set up stuff. So a little entrance arrow is where you place your mini. Each character has a mini. And then you have stuff like traps. You have obstacles in the way. You have the spawn points for the enemies. The enemies will have their own little boards off to the side. So for this first scenario, I guess we only have one enemy type. If we have multiple, you can have multiple boards. And this kind of, the enemy card indicates a couple of things. It indicates basically the 3 different options they have on their turn. There's like a dice rolled every time, and that kind of indicates what they do on a given turn. So like, for example, this first scenario, I'll just kind of set up as a quick little example. So there's also little health trackers for each of the enemies. So this guard has 8 health, so I would have these 2 for that. Green cube for this number 1 guy, blue cube for number 2 guy, and we're set up just like that. That's really all there is to it. Each character has only 4 cards. That's it. But there's a little bit more to that, because each card has an A and a B side. So when you play a card, once you're done with it, if it's an A card, it returns to your hand, but you flip it over, and now it's on the B side. When you play a B card, then it gets discarded after use. And if you're familiar with Gloomhaven, once again, lots of stuff will be familiar. There's a concept of like discarding cards, and then you can lose cards. So over the course of the game, after you use cards an A side, it becomes a B card. You use a B card, it gets discarded. And then over time, you'll have like no cards left, and then you'll have to do something. There's 2 different kind of ways you can rest in this game. You could do short rest or long rest. Short rest you do at the end of the round. Take all your cards in your discard pile, put them back in your hand, shuffle your hand, discard a card. And by discard, I should be more careful when I speak. You're going to actually lose a card, not discard. But yeah, the cards are pretty standard Gloomhaven cards. You have the top and bottom actions. Each turn, you're picking 2 cards to play, picking the top action for one, the bottom action for another, and using one of the cards for your initiative number, which is the number in the middle. And then for each unique enemy type for each round, I'll roll this dice. The minus indicates what the enemies will do, and also their initiative number. And it's pretty cool. And then each round, I kind of just choose 2 cards to play them, resolve them. Since these are both A cards, they go back to my hand as B cards, and that's kind of that. Up here, these little boards are the modifier decks. They're just like a modifier board, I guess is maybe what I'll refer to them as. But it's in Gloomhaven, you have a little deck of cards that represents modifiers. So each time you attack, you draw a modifier first to see what's, the attack modified by. And this little board is what kind of represents that. So each time I do an attack, if I'm doing this overwhelming assault and I'm attacking for 6, well, that's great, but we got to modify it first. So I rolled a negative. That means I do a -1 to that attack roll. And then after each time I attack, I move the cube down 1, so it kind of rotates through the board. The enemies have their own modifier board. Each time they attack, they also roll a dice, and the value gets modified. As you can see, some of the modifiers just add or subtract a number, though some will just make them do no damage. Some will make it do twice as much damage, which is no fun if that happens to you. One thing that's cool about this game is there's different difficulty levels. So if you want to play on like very easy, what you could do is just, it comes with extra cards that you can slot in here, and boom, now you have a very easy enemy modifier. Or if you want to play on very hard, boom, now you have a different modifier board for the enemies, which I think is a really cool and simple way to add some extra difficulties, which if you know me, it's one thing I love about solo games is having extra difficulties to, you know, have some change in gameplay. Oh yeah, this is all pretty similar to Gloomhaven, but a bit expedited. Yes, it is. That's one way to say it. Yeah, it's very much slimmed down, but it's, you know, at the same time, it's the same game, just some very small differences. You know, you still have a lot of the similar like effects where you can strengthen yourself or muddy someone or poison them, or I forget what that one's called, little foot. Immobilize, you can pierce through armor. Some enemies have armor, like this bandit guard has shield armor that's always active, while on a negative, like on a 30 in this column, they also would get an additional shield that turn. There's like little tokens that I can place. So as poison token, if I get poisoned, I place it on my character. If I poison a certain guard, I just place it on their health tracker, and that's how I track all of that. Each scenario has a goal. Most of the time, at least the earliest scenarios, are just kill all the enemies, and that's how you win. Yeah, all the cards have top and bottom actions, and like in Gloomhaven, they also have kind of, I don't know what they're called, but like the basic actions, where the top action, the bottom left, you could just do a standard attack of 2, or the bottom action is just a standard move of 2. So those are always kind of available. Some cards have the elements on them, and elements work a little bit differently. It's one thing I'm not crazy clear on the rules wise how it works, but from my understanding, pretty much as long as a card that has this element symbol right there is visible, so like right now it's in my hand, I can see the symbol, it is visible, that means it is active. And if I have a card that uses the element symbol like this while I have this card in my hand, then I get this extra little bonus by consuming that element. There are sometimes persistent or active bonuses. So for example, my warding strength, the bottom action gives me a persistent 2 shield effect. So that's why I have a little room above my character to just put my persistent effects up here. Discards go over here, lost cards go over here, items will go down here. Items are a thing in this game. One thing that's also really neat is these, you know, they made a lot of clever decisions when making this game, which they had to, because, you know, not using a lot of components, they have to kind of make work with what they can. So the scenario cards, not only do they have the scenario information on them, but each has an item on the top and bottom. And as you progress throughout the game, I think it's after like the first scenario, like when you get to the second one, you can start using items. And yeah, you just, most of them are one-time use, but if you do a long rest, you can get them back. And yeah, it's pretty cool. You can have like item, you can only have like one item to start, but then there's also items that take up like the hand slot. You can have like a one single two-handed weapon or 2 one-handed weapons. And yeah, that's kind of the game in a gist. Let me think if there's anything major I'm forgetting. Some of the scenarios have levels to them. So starting out, you know, scenario 1, it's a level 1. But as you start getting a little bit further, you know, scenario 3, that's a level 2 scenario. So what does that mean? Well, it means a couple of things. First off, as you get higher levels for scenarios, one thing that's really cool is, check this out. See my modifier board up here? Boom, you slot a card in there, and now I have cooler modifiers that do kind of neat stuff. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Oh, that's perfect. So you can see here, this new modifier has stuff like, even on this action, if I miss one, I still apply piercing, which is kind of cool. Or this one, if I miss, I get to, you know, strengthen myself. And on the backside, there's for level 3, and there's another card for 4 and 5. So it's pretty neat. As I kind of upgrade my character and level up, I get to also level up the modifier deck. As you can kind of see on my character here, also my health points increase as I get higher levels. And the other thing that's pretty neat is, where are they at? Oops. Oh no. My bad. I went to the wrong thing. There we go. I need to make sure I don't do that again. And the last thing is, I said you only have 4 cards to start, but these are your level 1 cards. But you also have level 2 cards. And so as you start increasing levels of scenarios, you can swap out some of your level 1 cards to level 2 cards. And I believe how it works is, once you hit a level 2 scenario, you can start swapping out cards. Yeah, for sure. So it's like once you get above level 1, you can swap out 1 card. So if you're doing like a level 3 scenario, you can swap out 2 cards. I believe that's how that works. So yeah, if you're doing a level 5 scenario, you could swap out all of them, which I think most of them are just like kind of an upgraded version of the cards. So it's better. What else? I think that really kind of covers most of it. Like always, I'm going to be playing through it, so you'll get to see how it's played in action. Like I kind of mentioned also, I'm only going to be playing the Bruiser today, mainly because they're one of the easiest characters, and like I've kind of mentioned, I'm not good with this game. Sorry, I kind of skipped a few messages. Is there an ascension system or something with those cards up top? Yeah, I'm sorry, I kind of missed that message. Which cards up top? Because if you're talking about the boards, yeah, I don't think there's an ascension system, but there are the items that you unlock from completing scenarios, and then there are the difficulty levels that you can modify this for. And then yeah, as you level up and get higher scenarios, you do modify your board along with a couple other things. You can carry more items, you get more health points, you can swap out your cards. So yeah. Hello there, Derek. Let's do this. My buddy showed me this game, one of our game nights. It looks great. Yeah, no, this game's awesome. I think it's fairly cheap. Like I picked this up at Game Fair or at Origins for like $20, I think. So it's not, it's not crazy expensive. Yeah, I don't remember asking for the Gloomhaven lecture. Yeah. Oh, the ones you explained. Okay, good. Wow, ignoring messages. Yeah, I'm gonna start ignoring your messages, Kardik. I'm just joking. Unsubscribing if I don't see your neighbor's cat, dude. I don't know where Jonesy is. She's, I think, sleeping by the window. But yeah, I think we can kind of just hop into this. I really don't think there's much more to go over. There's probably some small things I'm missing, but for the most part, that kind of covers the gist of it. I'm gonna change something real fast so I don't screw that up again. How different is complexity versus Jaws of the Lion, do you think? I will say it's been a while since I played Jaws of the Lion, but I think the complexity is pretty similar. I don't know. I seem kind of equally bad at this game as the other ones, because it is, at the end of the day, it's kind of like it's just a puzzle. I mean, obviously, I do think this is simpler. It's a bit more streamlined, just kind of managing the game overall. But the actual game itself seems pretty similar in complexity. There isn't, you don't have your modifier deck, and you have less conditions, and the elements work a bit differently. So it is simpler, but I think it's, it does seem like it does a pretty good job at keeping up with a similar complexity. And as I kind of mentioned earlier, if you want higher difficulties, you can at least change the deck, whatnot. And then all the characters also have, like, on the back, it does have different difficulty levels for each character. So, I mean, you could also, try playing as like the Spellweaver, the Tinkerer, which are like the high level difficulty. So, and those do seem kind of difficult because you need, the cards are a bit more weird with like how they recover stuff and you losing cards and all this other stuff. So, I would say, I mean, it's definitely not as complex as Jaws of the Lion, but I think it does a good job, for just being this solo only tiny box game. You can see got all the other cards and stuff for like the other characters in there right now. Yeah. This is more complex than Jaws. Yeah, Jaws is definitely more complex, but I mean, that's kind of just like it just also like the size of the game, it's like the more complex it is. So, I mean, the original Gloomhaven is going to be the most complex, and then Jaws is kind of below that, and then this is kind of below that. But I think it's still a very crunchy puzzle and quite fun. So let's kind of just get going. Can I zoom in on this? Hopefully. Oh, there we go. Let's get started with the intro text here. That shrinking feeling. What a time for Gloomhaven. First, a black tornado from the void nearly destroyed the city. Then there were reports of the very essence of corruption trying to end everything. But all's well that ends well. And at the center of both events, Hale, a mysterious aether who lives in a derelict tavern, the Crooked Bone. It is said she can turn anyone into a hero exactly what you want to be. Sure, you don't have a lot of training, but put in front of the right adventure, you'll get the acclaim that is due to you. So, with that bold purpose, you step across the threshold of the crooked bone and... No, that's not right. Everything is growing. Why is the doorway so large? Why are you so small? Is this some sort of Aether enchantment? You've been shrunk. And that's where we're starting. So, I've been shrunk. What next? Well, we're in for a bit of a rude welcome. Got some fancy gear there. You whirl around, taking in your familiar yet unfamiliar surroundings. Your attention settles on a scruffy character behind you, luckily on par with your diminutive stature. Nice and shiny, like it's never been used. Hand it all over and I'll let you live. But that simply won't do. Your gear is unused and there's really only one solution for that. So the monsters I'm fighting are the bandit guards. The goal is to defeat all the monsters. Flip over the card and boom, we got the map. Set up the little cubes for them. Put my mini there. You can kind of see, it's maybe hard to see, I'm standing on a button. It's pretty great. My little mini's standing on a button. And I already kind of set this up when I was explaining the rules earlier, so we're ready to go. That's really all there is to it. You just gotta make sure your enemy board's reset. You got your enemy over here with the characters thing. Got your dial set up, token set up. That's really it. So it's great. It's great. So let's get going. A rude welcome. These are my 4 cards to choose from. We got a couple of traps, a couple obstacles. We got 2 guards to take out. A kind of classic opening, I think, especially as the bruiser, is I move over to guard number 1 and I use my warding strength, which does 3 damage, and I can push for 2, and I can push them right into the trap, dealing an extra damage. Damage like from traps and whatnot is not going to be blocked by their shield, which is nice. So it's kind of a guaranteed damage. So I think that's the move, is I move over with something like Spare Dagger, and then I attack with Warding Strength is my tentative plan. So I think I will choose to do that. So I'm going to move these cards over and kind of just to indicate these are the 2 cards I am using. So I will be picking 27 for my initiative value. So now we have to roll for the monster's initiative, and the dice is cocked, so we'll re-roll it. I'm sorry I rolled that off the screen, but I did roll a minus. And for them, that is a 30. So that means I go first because I picked 27 as mine. Push. No, I can't push the roll. This is forbidden. No, not forbidden. Yeah, Forbidden Lands. I wish. Pushing rules goes bad, though. It's not. It's a risky move. So I'm going to take the basic action of moving 2 with my Spare Dagger. So going 1, 2. And since this is an A card, it goes back in my hand as a B card with Overwhelming Assault. And now I attack with my Warding Strength attack for 3 damage, but I have to roll a modifier first. And I get +1 to my attack. Cube moves down, so that means I deal 4 damage to guard number 1. He does have a shield, so that's only 3 damage, bringing him down to 5 health. And I get to push him 2 spaces. Pushes them into a trap, which means they take another damage. And I get to strengthen myself, which means next turn I will have advantage on all attacks. Warding Strength is an A card, so it becomes a B card. And that is it for my turn. On to the guard's turn. They go in numerical order. So guard number 1 goes first, green guard. They're going to move 2, attack for 1, and shield for 1. So this guard moves forward 1. It's going to try to attack the old bruiser here. They rolled a negative, so they don't hit me at all. They hit me for 0, essentially. This other guard moves 2 spaces. They are not within range to hit me. So that is it for their turn. And that is it for this first round. We're on to round number 2. I need to just try to do a lot of damage to this guard quickly. I could just try to do the Overwhelming Assault. I don't know if it's... Because the one thing that sucks is some of these cards, it might be kind of hard to see. Some of them have little symbols at the bottom right, and like specifically for overwhelming assault, it has this symbol here, which means after I use the card, it's lost. Not discarded, it is lost. And that means it's going to be hard to get back. There are ways to recover cards from being lost, but you know, from at least in the Bruiser's case, I don't think I have any. So it's kind of just a one and done card. So I could do that. That does 6 damage. And then I could like move over to put myself in a good position to deal with the guard. I mean, at most, the guard's going to move 2. So maybe I shouldn't move too close because they might come to me and I don't know if I... Oh, they could hit me. I don't know if I really care. Maybe I don't. So maybe I'll go with Overwhelming Assault and some card to get me an early initiative. So maybe I go with these 2 to get like a 15 initiative and then go for the 6 damage. I will have to lose it, but then I do have advantage also on this attack. So it would give me 2 chances to roll. I take the better roll. I think even if I were to get a minus, it would still kill them. So I think that's the safe move. So that is what I will do. I will lock in my 15 initiative, roll initiative for the guards. I keep rolling this off screen. I need to be better about that. I'm really zoomed in here, so I'm kind of got to be careful about where I'm putting stuff. So I do apologize if I go off screen for some stuff. They rolled the minus symbol, so they are at 30 initiative. I still go first at 15 initiative. And I will start my turn with my Overwhelming Assault. So 6 damage coming their way, but let me roll the dice. I did roll a minus, and I have an advantage, so I rolled a plus. So that's actually 8 damage coming at guard number 1. Absolutely kills them. They are beyond dead, even with their fancy shield. So that is it for Overwhelming Assault, and that card is now lost in the woods. Then I will move... I'll go 1, 2, 3. So if I go here, if I have the guard come right between me and the trap, if I have another push move, then I could push them into the trap. That'd be kind of good. So a Shield Bash is an A card, so that becomes a B card. That is the end of my turn, so I also lose my strength condition. And that is it for my turn. They are going to move 2, so they move 1 here. And then they're going to attack me for 1. But modified, it's still 1. So I will be taking 1 damage. Not the end of the world. I should put my health token somewhere else. I don't know where a good spot is. I really don't. Nah, whatever. I'll keep it up here. I know I'm going to have active cards here, so... the layout's not great, but whatever. So I took some damage. That is it for their turn. And now we're on a new turn. They're still at max health, so I got some work to do still. This ain't gonna be too easy. I definitely need to not use both B cards this turn, so I gotta plan this a little strategically. So maybe I'll go with something like this card. Hello there, J.R. Hayden. Is this tiny Gloomhaven? It is. It's Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs is what it's called. It's the solo-only version of Gloomhaven in this tiny box. Not very big. 6 characters, 20 scenarios. Box load of fun. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing good. We're still on scenario 1, just getting started with the Bruiser. Just got shrunk down and getting attacked by some guards. You know, not a great time. For the guards, I should say. These guards are about to get whooped. Maybe. I'm not very good at this game. Gloomhaven I'm not good at, but scenario's been on an okay start so far. I just need to you know, clean it up. I could use this to muddy them, attack them for 3. That's maybe not a bad move. I'm just going to have bad initiative. That's the rub. I think that's okay. I'm going to choose these cards to use. Let's roll to see what their initiative is. It's a minus symbol, so they're going early at 30 initiative. They're going first. They will be attacking me for 1, but modified is a nothing modifier, plus 0, so they just hit me for 1 damage, bringing me down to 10. Not too bad. I love Gloomhaven. This is pretty cool. Yeah, no, it's a cool little game. I'm not the biggest fan of Gloomhaven, and I'm also pretty bad at it, but I think this version is pretty neat for sure. And I'm a solo gamer, so I like, that it's a solo only game and how compact it is. It's pretty neat. So they just went, and they have a shield, and they have an extra shield. Of course they do. So I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna move in a circle, kinda, just so I can land at the same spot. I'm gonna muddy them, which means they essentially have disadvantage. That card gets discarded after use since it's a B card. Then I use the top part of this for my leaping cleave attack. I'm gonna try to do 3 damage here, and unfortunately I got a -1 to that, so I'm only doing 2 damage, and they have a shield of 2, so I did 0 damage. And then this becomes a B card, and we're chilling. Yeah, because no one wants to play with me. Damn. Dude, I guess maybe you're right. I mean, this game is literally solo only, so you couldn't even play this with people if you wanted. So now I got just 2 B cards in my hand, which I guess I got to use both. I kind of have to. I don't really like either of the options. I guess I'll probably heal for 2 and then hit him with the skewer, which at least I'll have a low initiative value, 18. I mean, I'm gonna go first regardless, which is kind of great. So let's go for it. Now I'm gonna have to rest after this. So they going on their 30 initiative. I go first, so I'll play the bottom part of this to heal for 2. Which once again, it's not really what I want to do right now, but whatever. And then we'll do my skewer attack for 3 damage. I could get a critical miss here, and I rolled it off the screen, but I got a negative, which means in this column that is a miss modifier. So that card is gone for nothing. It's now their turn to attack me. They're gonna be hitting for 1, but they do have disadvantage, and they did roll a minus, which is a -1 for them. So they just did nothing. Sucks for them. They're still at full health though, which is not good for me. It's the end of my turn. Now I have 0 cards left. Not a great spot to be in, because you kind of need cards to do stuff. So at this point, I'm going to have to do a short rest. There's 2 different types of rest. You could do a short rest, which is what I'm doing now. The other one is a long rest, which you do at the beginning of your turn, and it kind of takes your whole turn. But short rest, you just take all your discards, flip them to the A side, and then I randomly choose 1 to discard. And I will be discarding Weeping Cleave. I believe you can also take a point of damage if you want to reshuffle the cards and get a different discard option. I'm fine with whatever. I'm not too picky right now. We do have warding strength, which is kind of clutch. So big moves happening now here. Big moves. So I'm gonna pick 15 initiative. Yeah. And then I'm going to use warding strength first. Yeah, this is going to be good. So I'm going to hit them for warding strength first. I guess let me roll for their initiative first. Let me not get too excited. Okay, they're going on 30. So my warding strength attack, let me roll for the attack modifier. It is another -1. So I do 2 damage. They have a shield, so I only do 1 damage. But I do push them into the trap, and they will take a 2nd damage. So that's good. And I get to strengthen myself, which is good. Warding strength becomes a B card. And then with my movement, I just want to probably move out of the way. 1, 2, 3. Something like that. Just so they can't even come near me. And that's that. Because then on their turn, they move 2, and they just go 1, 2, and then they can't reach me, so they just, pound sand. They can't do nothing. We're back to the top of the order. I only have 2 cards in my hand. This is a little concerning because I kind of need to win this next turn, and I don't have the damage to do that. So it's genuinely gonna come down to a dice roll, because I'm very lucky my modifier is where it is, because I have the chance to roll a times 2 modifier. I need that. I won't win without it. And there's no way I win without it. Luckily, I do have strength, so I have advantage. I can roll twice. But if I don't get it, I'm done for. So I'm going to choose 35 as my initiative. Let me see what their initiative is. They're going at 50. Perfect. So then I will go with Skewer's bottom action for moving up to the bandit guard. And then it all comes down to this unstoppable charge. I have to get a plus to win here. And I do have advantage. So let's see. First roll is a plus. That is 8 damage. They block one. That is 7 damage. And that kills them. That is insanely lucky. I genuinely would have lost if I didn't roll a plus there. That's a little lucky. But you know what? I'm not going to complain. That's a win. A win's a win. Gotta pop off. I'll catch you Wednesday. Sounds good. Catch you later, Kardik. But that's a win right there. So quickly, just gonna reset and stuff before we read the little exit text. That's probably not. What's the word for that? I don't know. The conclusion text, maybe. Let me zoom in. There we go. Well, your gear certainly isn't shiny anymore, and it wasn't even particularly fancy to begin with, come to think of it. Got the job done at least, but your situation is quite dire. You'll need to survive long enough to find out how to restore yourself to original size. But for now, you'll need to deal with this vermling that has just appeared. Now I need to read the collector. Look at this vermling that just appeared. Oh boy. What's this vermling saying? Took out the scavengers, I see, the vermling offers. You're not the first to barge in on hail and get this less than ideal result. We've all been there. Some of us have realized the need to work together if we're gonna make the best of this. I assume you'd like to be big again? You nod. Then I have a proposal for you. During my time here, I have collected many things that may be useful. You may borrow them, and in exchange, I will accompany you so I may expand my collection. I can also tell you that your best hope for escape is getting into the Crooked Bone and taking the issue up with Hale. Unfortunately, you look behind you to see the door now firmly closed. Yeah, the only way is through the Button's kingdom across the road. Come on. And so now I can equip items during the scenario setup, and we're going to be continuing on to scenario 2, crossing the road. Scenario 2, crossing the road. You can get into a window in the Crooked Bone by ziplining across from the Grumbling Garlev, the collector says. They point to another derelict tavern in front of you, otherwise known as Button's Kingdom. The collector hesitates, gesturing to a small crowd of bandits on the cobblestone street blocking your path. So monsters are bandit guards and bandit archers. The goal is to defeat all the monsters. And here is the map we got working with. So we're trying to cross the road here, and we got some baddies in our way that we got to take out. As you saw up here, we're on still a level 1 scenario. So we don't get to upgrade cards, don't get to upgrade anything crazy yet, but we do get to equip items. So we got all these items to pick from. We can currently hold, I believe it's just one like bag item, and then we can either hold one one-handed or one two-handed weapon or 2 one-handed weapons. So I think like at most I can equip 2 things, which I kind of like the Venomous Fang. During your melee attack, add poison. That's kind of cool. So I'll probably take that. And then I like the Bottle Cap Helm. So during an enemy's attack, you treat its plus attack modifier as in the 0 attack or the circle attack modifier. And so both of these I just kind of slot under here, and look at that. That's where my items are stored. Pretty neat, huh? So I get my cards kind of situated here. I gotta rearrange the setup a little bit. Because now we got more enemy types coming in. And I think this needs to shift down. Because we got archers to worry about. We don't just got guards anymore. We got archers. We got 2 whole enemies. And 2 whole enemy types. We got 3 whole enemies. Let me make sure. I guess I didn't realize this was already off screen. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So we need a new thing for that. So there are 2... Oh, I did this backwards. That's okay. There's 1 guard and 2 archers. Okay. So number 1 is a guard. Number 2 is an archer. Number 3 is an archer. They have 7 health. This music may not be the most fitting for Gloomhaven, but I will never get sick of this soundtrack. It's good, just background music, just chill music, I think. Maybe at some point I'll try to find some better, like, fantasy music. Don't have many complaints about this game right off the rip, but one thing I will say is all of the main cards, like these cards, like the character cards, all have a slight bend to them, and it kind of drives me crazy, because especially that I need to use them as a map. I kind of, as you've been seeing, I kind of have to like reverse bend them so they lay flat. It's kind of annoying. One of, you know, I don't have many complaints about this game. That's one, but it's a minor one, because as you see, it's not a terrible thing to worry about. But you know, gotta complain about something, right? Gotta find something to complain about. So this scenario, we got 3 enemies. We have 1 bandit guard and 2 archers. We have to defeat all of them to win this scenario. It's a level 1 scenario, so we still start with 12 health. We still have our normal board, 2 items to start with, and our 4 normal cards. We're ready to begin scenario 2. Take a quick sip of water here. All right. Gotta stay hydrated. So, what's the plan here? I think I need to deal with the archers. That's what worries me personally. So there's 2 of them. The bandit guard's not great, but they don't have a ranged attack. So as long as I kind of kite them and keep my distance, like, they're not really a concern. I think I need to take out one of the archers. So then, do I have a forward movement? I do, because I could go 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that wouldn't work. That's not enough movement. Shoot. Do I have a movement with jump? I do. That's still not enough movement. Dang. Because I want to get on the other side of this so I can push them, and then that's just not going to work. But I could also... Oh, man. Next song is the best song. Buckle up. I always know. Whenever I hear the ending of that last song, I know the next one's under construction. See, I think... What would y'all do? Would you go for the big bandit guard? Or would you go for the archers first? Because the archers, yeah, they can hit at range 2 or 3, and they hit kind of hard. Like, they can hit up to 3 damage. The bandit guard doesn't even do that much, but the archers don't have any shields, so they're a little bit more, vulnerable. And I think I need, at least with scenario 2, I need to start considering using some of the passive effects that I have. Sorry, some of the active effects that I have. So some of my cards have persistent active effects that I really should be maybe looking into using a bit more this game, or this scenario. I'm just trying to find, I don't like where I have my health tracker. I'll put that over here, and then maybe put my lost cards like below it or something. I don't know, because I feel like I'm going to start having more active cards up here, so I don't... maybe I'll just put my health. I think that's where I had it. I can't make up my mind. I should put a little bit more time into how I had everything laid out, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah, the archers are scaring me, but I don't have a way... 1, 2, 3. I would need 4 with flying to get there. I have 3 with jumping, or I have a 4 standard. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Well, 1, 2, 3, and then that pushes the wrong way. Urgh. Okay, so I can't do that. I do have my spare dagger, so I could throw that at the guard and then do my warding strength for persistent. That just doesn't seem worth it. You go for the archers. That's what I'm. Yeah, I would agree. That's what I'm thinking. But at least one of them, right? Like I maybe take out one, and then go for the guard, and then for another archer. And that archer's way in the back, so I'm thinking this is archer number 2. But then it's just, how do I get to them, and what do I do? What do I do? I could just stay tight. I could use like spare dagger on them and then use warding strength to just shield myself up. But then it's like the issue with using a persistent card is just once it's active, like I'm not going to be able to really use it. But the 2 shields, I feel like I need more damage. One of these has retaliate on it. Let me double check which one that is, because that's one I maybe want to use first to get that going early. But then if I'm just fighting archers, it's not that helpful. So maybe the persistent effects aren't going to be that good this game. So what I think I'm going to do is just... What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I might move... Let me see what the... Yeah, this card I want to use for its movement. So let me think about what I want to do for my top action. Ideally something with a low initiative. Maybe I do use warding strength. I think it's a move. Okay, I would choose warding strength as my initiative, so I'll be going at initiative 32. Let's roll for the bandit guard first. They get a minus, so they're going at 30, so they're going before me. And the archers are going at 64, so they will be going after me. So the guard goes first. It moves 1 towards me, and then it attacks for 1. Rolling its modifier. I rolled kind of off the screen, but it was a 0, so it's just hitting me for 1 damage, which isn't the worst. It's not the worst, but could be better. I feel like you have to think like 3 moves ahead of this game. Yeah, I think there's definitely some, because at the end of the day, like I've heard people describe this as like a puzzle, and it's like I didn't really think about it like that for the longest time, but at the end of the day, like that's kind of what this is. It's just a puzzle. And I think the issue I have, and you saw I kind of almost ran into it last scenario, is like I just always run out of cards, and I always feel like I'm not good at balancing how many cards I have with like resting properly. And I feel like card management, it's like a whole puzzle in itself. But yeah, I definitely agree. I'm trying to get better at this game. But yeah, so the guard went. It's now my turn. I will go with my leaping cleave to move 1, 2, 3 all the way over here. Becomes a B card. And then warding strength. I will hit them for 3 with 2 push. That's a 0 modifier, so 3 damage coming at archer number 2, bringing him down to 4 health. And I do push him 2. That doesn't really matter because they're gonna still hit me. And I do strengthen myself, and that becomes a B card as well. It's the archer's turn. Purple archer cannot reach me. The blue archer is within range to reach me. They're going to be hitting for 3 damage. That's going to hurt. And they rolled the plus. So that's actually 5 damage coming at me. This is a time when I probably should do one of the... So you can block damage. There are a couple ways to avoid taking damage. And it's... I'm going to pull it up because I always kind of forget. You can discard an A card. You can discard 2 B cards. Or you can lose a card from your discard pile. I believe you can also lose it from your hand. At least that's what the rule said. But it's like, that's a lot of damage. 5 damage on, this is just the first turn, right? I don't want to take like half damage on my first turn. But if I have to discard a card, that's going to be kind of a bad, because I just said I'm bad at managing my cards. That's like the one, I never run out of health. I run out of cards. So you know what? Because of that and that alone, I will take the 5 damage. Maybe a huge blunder. an absolute rookie mistake, some may say, but you know what? We're here. We'll see how it rolls out, but that's what I'm doing. So we're good on this round. We're on to the next round where I get to pick my cards. I think if I do that, unstoppable charge, I should be able to take out the one archer. So then I just need a good early initiative. Ooh, maybe I go eye for an eye because that gets me an early initiative and I can heal 2 for 1. But there is a chance the archer still goes before me. They do have it. If they're rolled minus initiative, they can go at 16. So for the bandit guard, we get a minus. So they're going at 30. Let's not roll that for the archer. Okay, good. Whew. It's kind of holding my breath for that one. So it's my turn because I'm going at initiative 18. I didn't think this through. I'm gonna undo something just a little bit because I'm an idiot, right? Because I forgot I'm healing for 2. There's nobody around me, so I'm not gonna be able to attack with unstoppable charge because it's a melee attack. So a little goof on my end. I'm just gonna switch my cards around. My bad. But anyway, so eye for an eye. I'll use that first. That heals me for 2, bringing me up to 8, which is a little bit more respectable than 6. At least not worrying as much. And then I will attack with the spare dagger. I'm going to attack the blue archer. I do have advantage, so let's hope this is good because I might be able to take him out if I get a plus. I got a plus. Let's go. These rolls have been really good. So that's 5 damage coming at archer number 2, and they only had 4 health, so they are dead. Spare dagger then becomes a B-sided card. We're chilling. We're chilling so far. We haven't hit any of the other 2 enemies, but we took 1 out. It's not bad. So that was my turn. So now it's the bandit guard's turn. They are moving 2 and then attacking for 1. They're not within range, so that they can't do anything. This archer is going to move 1 and then attack within range of 3. Luckily, I am 1 spot out of their range, so sucks for them. Okay, so where do I go from here? What do I do? I do lose my strength, and y'all might have to yell at me because the one thing as I've been playing solo, I'm pretty good at remembering most things about this game. I always forget to move that dang cube. So remind me if, if either I forget to do it for the enemy or myself. And it even mentions in the book, like what you could do is always keep the cube like 1 space back and then you move it before you do the attack. Maybe that would be better, but I'm just gonna try to do it the way they want and just try my best to remember. When it comes to damage, sometimes you have to take it to make it. Yeah, and I think this is one of those situations. And like I recovered some of the health, so I'm not worried about my health. And like I said, in my Gloomhaven experience, I almost always lose because of running out of cards and actions rather than health. So we'll see how this goes. So I think my move is to do unstoppable charge and shield bash. That seems like a fun one too. And then shield bash gets me a super low guarantee number 1 initiative. So we'll go with that as my turn. I rolled the dice. Bandit guard stays at 30 initiative. The bandit archer will stay at their 31 initiative. I gotta remember, I still do have both of my items available, my bottle cat helm and my venomous fang. The venomous fang I will probably save for the bandit guard. I'm gonna try to take out the archer right now. So I move 3 with my unstoppable charge, 1, 2, 3. And then what's nice, and someone can feel free to correct me if I'm reading this card wrong. I read this as you do the top part first, you move 3, and then after your movement, all adjacent enemies become muddied. I think that makes sense how it's supposed to be used, and that's how I'm going to be playing it. So I moved 3, and then I make Archer 3 muddied. So that's that. And then I will shield bash them, where I gain a shield for the turn. So I'm going to put that up here so I don't forget. And then I'm going to attack them for 3. We have to modify it. And that's a +1. Move the cube. So that's 4 damage coming at archer number 3, bringing them down to 3 health. Great. Great. So bandit guard goes first. They move 2 spaces. They are not within range. I'm doing a pretty good job at kiting them. I think I've only taken 1 hit from them so far. The bandit archer moves. They are going to move 1 space away because they attack with ranged attacks only, and if they're adjacent, they get disadvantage, but then they're going to move away to attempt to get advantage, but they're still muddied, so it doesn't actually help. So they roll a plus, but they got to roll again. They rolled a plus again. That's not good, because that's 4 damage coming at me, but I do block 1 of it, so it's only 3. I'll just take it. And then that's it. So then their muddied condition goes, or is it muddled? Muddle. I keep calling it muddied. It's muddle. That goes away. Shield bash comes back to my hand as a B card. And then that's that. Okay, well, I'm definitely going to go with Overwhelming Assault and Skewer. I'll take 35 as my initiative value. Let's roll initiative for the Bandit Guard. They are staying at 30. Let's roll for the Archer. I kind of rolled that off the screen, I think, but that was also a minus, so they're going to be going first. So, Bandit Archer is going to stay where they are because they're pretty happy with that, and they're going to be attacking me for 2 damage. That dice is cocked, so we re-roll it. It's still a minus, which is a miss. Sucks for them. Moved the cube. It's now the guard's turn. The guard gets to move up towards me and actually get a chance to take an attack at me. What a concept. Let's see what they get. They get a -1, so they don't do anything. Man, these rolls are kind of all over the place. So it's now my turn. I will use the bottom of Overwhelming Assault. Lets me move 3, so I move up to the Bandit Archer. It also says I add +1 damage to all your attacks this round. So I'll actually, that's an active bonus. That should go up here for now. It will be discarded after. And then I will play Skewer, attacking right here. I maybe could have tried to line that up to hit both, but I didn't want to even try that. So I'll be attacking for 4 total, which hopefully, I mean, no matter what, I'm good because that's 4 damage, and that takes out the Archer. Archer number 2 down. 2 archers down, 1 guard to go. This is the end of the round. I am completely out of cards, but don't want to jinx myself, but I feel like I'm doing a pretty decent job at managing my cards. I still got 2 items, so I think, you know, as long as I can manage my health okay, I'm going to be in a decent spot. I lose my Leap and Cleave card. Not too bad. Yeah, I still have my Overwhelming Assault. As long as I save that, and I could use my Warding Strength beforehand, like, I'm gonna be just fine. Just fine. So I'm definitely gonna choose these as my 2 actions. I will choose 27 as my initiative, guaranteeing me to go first, but I'll still roll for the Bandit Guard. They go at 30, so I go first. I will be using the bottom action for moving just as a basic move. And then I will do a Warding Strength attack. I will be using my Venomous Fang card to add poison damage to this, which means all future attacks will get +1. So how about that, huh? And I got a plus modifier, so that's actually 4 damage total. They do block 1, so they only take 3 damage, brings them down to 5 health. Not bad. I also push them 2 spaces, which is almost into the trap, but not quite there. And then I also strengthen myself, which is probably one of the most important aspects here of what I'm doing here today. And I didn't poison them, which, yeah, like I mentioned, poison them just means all attackers gain +1 against this unit. So that's that. That becomes a B card. It's the guard's turn. They move 2 back, essentially, and then they just try to attack me. Go for it, buddy. They rolled a minus, so they don't hit me for nothing. 0 damage, and I think it's over for this guy, man. Let me just make sure I get an early initiative, but I don't think I genuinely can't lose. I think I just win in this scenario, right? So I choose 15 as my initiative. I roll for theirs. They are going to be going at 70. I go first. I attack with my overwhelming assault, right? That does 6 damage plus their poison. So that's going to do 7 base damage. And I have my strength. So that means I get advantage. So I rolled a plus. And I rolled a plus, which is the 2 times. So I deal 14 damage to him. He blocks 1. I deal 13 damage to him, and he's dead. That's crazy amount of damage. I didn't need the 2 times damage in this case. I would have been fine without it, but we'll take what we can get here in Gloomhaven, and I'll take that. Well, there we go. Scenario number 2 down. How far? We're not even an hour and a half in. We are cruising right along. Love to see it. I love how quick the reset. And that's like one thing I will say. I mean, even, Jaws of the Lion supposedly has quick tear up and tear down and setup, but this really has quick setup and tear down. It's awesome. That's a big factor for me. So yeah, I like it. Just resetting all my stuff real fast before we kind of read the conclusion text here. Guess I don't need to completely reset all this at the moment. All right. Taking that damage may have been a good move after all. Yeah, dude. I don't know if I already read that message, but yeah, no, the damage, I'm glad I didn't take it. I think I still had a good amount of cards left, but I mean, I already reset my cards, but yeah, we're good. We got it. Scenario 2 down. And I should also mention, I haven't played through too many of the scenarios. I basically have only played these first 2 and a little bit of the next one. So once we get past the next scenario, if we get past the next scenario, I'll be venturing into kind of new territory. So let's read the conclusion text here. Let me zoom in on it, please. My goodness, buttons. Standing on the other side of the street before the towering... Standing on the other side of the street before the towering, grumbling Garavel, the collector clears their throat. Honestly, it's probably best to avoid the button entirely. Very eccentric. I'd recommend sneaking in through a crack in the wall. And so this is pretty interesting. As you can see here, this is where having certain characters allows you to play certain scenarios. So if you're the bruiser, which I am, I can just barge right in. But if not, I play the in the wall scenario, which I am the bruiser. So we just skip scenario 3 and go to scenario 4, which is barging in. And this is going to change some stuff here, but let's read the text and then we'll kind of, because this is a level 2, so this is going to start changing our characters some. Hello there, John. Just arriving. We'll have to watch in the beginning tomorrow. It's so cool you're doing this one. I'm glad to be playing this one. I will say, I haven't played this too much, but I genuinely, this might be my favorite version of Gloomhaven. I think this might be the version for me. So we'll see. I got to play it some more, but I quite like it so far. But scenario 4 is barging in. So the idea of sneaking anywhere just makes you angry. And when you're angry, you just want to bust some heads. You decline the collector's offer in favor of a more direct approach. You march right towards the guard at the door, weapon in hand. So I'm defeating more bandit guards and bandit archers, and the goal is to defeat monsters. But level 2 scenario. So boom. We're level 2 now. That changes everything, kind of. So level 2, first off, easy change. We now start with 13 health. Great. Second change. Level 2 means we get the level 2 modifier card. Slot that in up there. Boom. And I'll quickly zoom in on that again, just so you can see, because I know some of these components are pretty small. But yeah, now I have some pretty cool modifications. Mainly, I have these middle modifiers that now will either add piercing or give me advantage on my next roll. Like it's pretty sweet. So we got more health, new modifier card. We also get more items. I don't think the item number goes up because it's always scenario level divided by 2 rounded up. So that's how many items we can carry. But we do have more item options available, mainly the ones from the last scenario, which is either drop of power potion, which is during your turn, add +1 to all your attacks. Seems okay. Or drop of clear water during your turn. Spend a ice or air element to remove 1 negative condition. I'm not too much of a fan of either of those, really. But what I might do is swap out bottle cap helm, because that didn't really come up. The venomous fang also didn't really come up, but I'm gonna swap out the helm for the spring. I think that might be a little bit better. The old spring says during your turn, add jump to all your movement, which is pretty cool. So we got upgraded items. We don't get any more currently. Once we hit a level 3 scenario, I think we'll be able to hold 2 like bag items. So we got more health points. Got our new card up top. Then last change is we get to upgrade one of our starting cards. On a level 2 scenario, we get to upgrade just one of them. So we have our 4 starting cards. Then we have the 4 kind of upgrade versions of them, sort of. So I think each, if I remember correctly, on the back of here, yes, you kind of see which cards upgrade to what. So got brute force. Looks like it's kind of an AoE thing. This is the upgrade for warding strength. That makes sense because you also push and you also strengthen yourself, which is pretty cool. You have the move 2, shield 2, and that's persistent. So that means you get move 2 every time? That almost doesn't seem right. On the back of it, we got 5 damage that does bleeding and immobilization. Okay. Or we got move 3, where you immobilize and muddle all adjacent enemies. Seems really cool. I like warding strength though. So next we got trample, which is going to replace leaping cleave if we take it. It looks like it does a little bit more area of effect. Maybe I can let me set these up a little bit better. Let me like zoom in. Can we do something like this? Hold on. Let me actually use my camera for once, because I know these cards are kind of small. So we got leaping. I'll do it like this. Here we go. So leaping cleave can upgrade into trample. So it would give us a little bit more damage, a little bit more area of effect. It also applies piercing. That seems really, really good. We get more movement and damage to all enemies moved through. Okay, that seems really good. Wall of Doom, you either get a retaliate or a heal. I might take trample. That seems like a super solid upgrade. But let's look at the other ones. You know, we got, I personally haven't actually looked at these before, so yeah, I don't mind taking a second to do so. Shield bash, so this upgrades to doing a little bit more damage. And what else? So it just does some retaliate on move. Okay. Or on the back, we upgrade skewer to run through, so that it does a larger range for skewer, adds piercing on the base attack. Then the upgraded adds extra piercing and more damage, or you get extra block. That one's not too exciting personally. I'm still liking that last one, but let me see what hook and chain is, because this is spare dagger is like, I feel like one of my least used cards, so getting that upgraded might, you know, make me use it more. So it upgrades the damage, it upgrades that this also pulls you. The bottom attack does more damage and more piercing. This back does more damage for the big attack and the similar stuff on the bottom. Very interesting. Very, very interesting upgrades. And unfortunately, I can only upgrade one I think I'm going to take the one that I kind of alluded to that I was kind of impressed with. I think it seems like a super solid upgrade is for Leaping Cleave to be upgraded to Trample. So we shall do that. Our cards have been upgraded. And I think with that, we're ready to begin scenario 4. I get my kind of cards in initiative order. Make sure I have them all on screen. I gotta be careful. I'm not putting stuff off screen too much because, like I said, I'm pretty. It's a small footprint game, so I'm pretty zoomed in, not using too much of my table, which is good. Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to be cautious. I'm not putting stuff off screen. So scenario 4. Let me once again. I gotta kind of bend the card a little bit to make sure it lays flat. Yeah, this scenario I've played a little bit, but I have not played past this. I don't think I've actually beaten this scenario, so looks like we got to swap these around a little bit. So we have 4 enemies this time, 2 archers and 2 guards. So that's gonna probably change my strategies a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. Let me make sure the guard's still. I just realized like the card's kind of off the screen. There we go. There we go. Okay. So these guys have 7 health. So I'll probably do a similar strategy of probably take out the archers first, try to avoid the guards. In the meantime, I'd try to build up some conditions and kind of buff my character a little bit, and then kind of go crazy on the guards once I wipe out the archers. Because I think, as you kind of saw last scenario, like if I can just properly kite the guards and maintain my distance, they don't have ranged attacks. So if I just kind of keep running away from them and chasing after the archers, they can't really do too much. It is nice we have, I'll do a quick little zoom in on the map so you can see it hopefully a little bit better. Main things we got going on, we got a tree branch obstacle in the way, we got a rock up there, and then we have 2 traps that do 1 damage and they immobilize, which is pretty sweet. We got 4 enemies, 2 archers, 2 guards. I think this will be one game I really need to utilize my persistent bonuses more. I think I might not do it right away, but I need to probably use some fairly directly. Like, especially this 2 shield on warding strength. Like, I think once I take out the archers, probably after I rest once, I'll use that on like my second to kind of cycle through the deck, as long as I don't discard it. I guess that's always a possibility. I also really I have a couple of these AoE cards like with trample, and I'm not good about setting those up, so I'd like to actually set up like an AoE attack and hit a couple people at once. Would be kind of nice. There's nothing really, there's no spots I can hit starting out like that. No, everybody's too kind of spread out. I mean, if I could somehow 1 2 3, well, if I can move 4 and jump, I could use shield bash. I don't even know if this would be worth it, because I'd be attacking the blue and purple, which is an archer and a guard. That's 4 damage and 2 piercing. I mean, that's kind of big. Or what's my other option? See, it sucks this branch is in the way, because if I want to go attack that archer, I gotta like run around it. I could jump over it. I mean, that's always an option. And I do have my old spring item. This would be probably pretty good use for it. Let me double check. That is an archer there. That's kind of who I want to take out first, I think. I think that's the move. It feels bad if I use my old spring right on the first turn. And if I use 4 movement, like I can get there. So maybe I go 4 movement and then warding strength to help next turn. Let's lock that in. I'll use, shield bash for the initiative and the movement. And then I'll use the, not spear dagger, the warding strength. That seems pretty good. So let me roll initiative for the baddies. I keep rolling the dice off screen a little bit. The archer is going on circle. Let me see if I can keep this on screen. Still rolled off. That is a minus for the guards. All right. Is this album gonna loop? Okay, good. Music continues. Okay, so I'm going on initiative 15, so I am definitely going first, then the guards, then the archers. So I will use my shield bash movement, 1, 2, 3, 4, to kind of go around the little tree branch there. That's that. Put that there. Sorry, I'm gonna move some stuff around a little bit. Okay, there we go. So now I'm next to the archers. So now I'm going to warding strength them. So that is a 0 modifier, so +0. Move the cube, deal 3 damage to archer number 1. Not bad. And I push them, which doesn't do anything. And I strengthen myself, which is kind of nice, I guess. And warding strength becomes the B card. Okay. Let me put these in initiative order, something like that. Cool. Okay, now it is the guards' turn. They move 1 spot, and then they're going to attack me for 1 damage. They have a +0 modifier, so they do hit me for 1 damage. Now it is the guards' turn. Guard number 1 goes. They're going to move 1 and attack for 2. Guard number 1 is next to me doing a ranged attack, so they will get disadvantage. So they did roll a plus, as you saw, but they're getting disadvantage, and they rolled a minus. Even better. So that means instead of taking 4 or 3 damage, no, yeah, instead of taking 4 damage, I'm only taking 1. So thanks, disadvantage. The other archer moves 1. Now, I'm not even close to their line of sight, so they can't hit me. Can't touch this. Then that's it for both of them. So we're back to the top of the order. I'd love to be able to take out archer number 1. So maybe doing like the unstoppable charge there. And then I do the spare dagger attack. Yeah, that could be kind of fun. I can hit both of them. Because I'm going to have strength for this whole turn. So doing 2 attacks, it's all the better. So I will do that. I'll choose these 2 cards. 27 is my initiative value. Roll for first initiative. I keep rolling this so far off screen. Try keeping that on screen. I'm really trying. It's not a lot of space. I don't want to hit the map. Okay. There we go. So I go first, right? They're at 31, they're at 70, I go at 27. So I will start out by doing my unstoppable charge attack on archer number 1. 4 damage incoming to them, and they only have 4 health, so as long as my rolls go good. So I got a +0. Whoa, +0 and a +0. So I move the cube, and we do 4 damage to archer number 1, taking them out. Then I turn around. Well, that was my unstoppable charge. That was a B card, so that gets discarded. Now I get to do the bottom part of my spare dagger, which is a 2 damage attack with 1 piercing. I rolled extra piercing or +2 damage. So that is 4 damage. Let me move the cube. 4 damage with 1 piercing, so their shield doesn't block it, and they're down to 4 health. That is really, really good. Wow. I don't want to brag, but this is kind of going good so far. I do lose. And also, you know what? While I'm thinking about it, I will add... You know what? No, I won't. I was going to add my Venomous Fang to that attack. I won't. I'll save it for the last guard. We might need it there. This guy's already halfway dead. Okay, that is it for my turn. Spare dagger was an A card, so that becomes a B card. So then who goes? The bandit archer. The 1 bandit archer. Oh, wait, that's the archer. Did I forget to move one of the guards last time? So wait, this guard was supposed to move 2. And then this archer was also supposed to move. They can't move that way, so their path is kind of blocked here. They can't even hit me, so they can't do anything. I think I messed that up a little bit. I think I forgot one of the bandits last turn to activate, and that's my bad. They wouldn't have been able to hit me. I mean, they're still distance away. That's totally my bad. But now the guards get to go again. So they go, they're going to attack me. The one next to me is going to attack me for 2 damage. And they got a +0 modifier, so they will hit me for 2 damage, bringing me down to 9, which is not terrible. I'm not even really worried about that yet. Then the other bandit's going to go and at least move through so the other archer can kind of move around. And that is it for the bandit guard's turn. And that's it for this round. So cool. All right. So we want to use definitely our A card here. And overwhelming assault. Oh, this is going to be a fun little combo we're going to have going on here. So I'll choose 61 as my initiative. That's for the archer's initiative. And then for the bandit's initiative, 70. So archer goes first, and then I go after the bandit. Or I go after the archer. So archer moves 1, and then they can attack a distance of 2 away, which I am 3 away, so I'm still fine. That's it for them. Then it's my turn. Okay, this is gonna be kind of fun. So I use my overwhelming assault to move 3, and this becomes like an active effect because I'm gonna move here. I also get to add +1 to all my attacks this round because then I get to use trample, and I kind of have it set up. So I'm gonna hit both guards here with piercing 2, and I'm gonna add my venomous fang to add poison to this attack as well. So it's actually gonna be, it's gonna be hitting for 5 damage, 2 piercing, and a poison. Ain't that something? Yeah, how are you gonna react there, guards? And I don't have advantage, so I guess this is my one roll, but it's +0. Move the cube. +0 is still good because 5 damage to both of them kills the one guard. And this is with 2 piercing. So then that brings the other guard down to 3. And it does something, right? It poisons them, right? Because of the venomous fang. Then trample becomes a B card. And this guy is just dead. Archer already went this round, and then it is the guard's turn to go, which they're going to attack me for 2. Ooh, that's +1, so they're going to hit me for 3. That's okay. Down to 6 damage. I don't really mind. Starting, once I get into like the 5 or less, I start worrying, so I'm almost about to worry. Almost. But we're chilling for now, so... Oh, and then this also gets discarded because that's now a non-active effect. I mean, I'm gonna have to use both of these cards, but I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do where. I mean, I guess I just do bottom of Wall of Doom and top of Skewer because that'll heal me, add +2 to all my strikes, and then I can hit the guard for 5, taking them out because I actually hit them for 6 because they're poisoned. So that's not bad. That's not bad. But let's see how it actually pans out here. I'll take the initiative of 20. See what the archer gets 16, so they're going first. Screw them. And the guard is going at 30. So... Archer goes first. They move 1 space up, and they are within range of 2 to hit me, so they will actually get to take a shot at me. That's for 3 damage total. I'll take it, but that's, you know, I'm down to 3 health at this point. That's a little scary. Not too concerning, because on my turn, which is now, I get to first heal up for 3, so that damage is just reversed. I also get to add +2 to all my attacks, which is pretty good. Yeah. And then, yeah, I just use Skewer. I was gonna think, like, I could, instead of healing, move and then hit both of them with a Skewer. But then I wouldn't get the bonus, and then I wouldn't take out the... I actually probably would still take out the guard, because they're gonna get hit for 4. But maybe not. I could miss this whole attack. I don't want to put too much into it. We'll let it ride. Let's go. So I'm gonna Skewer attack the guard. Okay, I rolled that off screen, but that is a that was a plus. So that was 3, 4, 5 plus venom is 6 damage to the guard. Yeah, they're really dead. And then that gets discarded, and that gets discarded. I think Archer already went. Guards are eliminated. It's the end of my turn, and I need some cards. So I gotta do a short rest. So shuffle up the cards, randomly lose 1. And I lose Shield Bash. That's actually the one I don't mind losing, so that's fine with me. I don't really care. I also don't think I moved the cube, because I think last round I was worried that I had a chance to get the negative. But that also means this round I have a chance to get a ×2. So I should try to do like something crazy. They have 7 health? Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to kill them. But I'm just trying to think of like what I can all do. I guess I could go like Spare Dagger to move, and then Warding Strength to hit them, and then put them in the trap. And it's like 4 damage total. It's not bad. 27 initiative value. Let's see what they're going to be at. Of course, they're going first. They like always do. So they're going to be trying to attack me for 2, and they're only going to hit me for 1. Still, that's not great. I'm down to 5 health, but my turn. I move here with the Spare Dagger. Becomes a B card. And then Warding Strength. I will be hitting them for 3 damage. Make that 2 damage. Brings them down to 5 health. But I push them into the trap. They go down to 4 health. They also become immobilized. And I become strengthened. And I have to move the cube back to the top. Dang. This becomes a B card. And I think they're dead next turn, because my overwhelming assault kills them, like, regardless of what happens. Right? Because they did their turn, I did my turn. I just need a quick initiative, which I'm definitely not going to get. None of my cards allow a quick initiative, so I'll just choose the lowest I can get, which is 61, and we'll just see what they do. They go, of course, with the lowest initiative possible. They're going to try to hit me for 2. They could almost kill me here. But no, they hit me for 1 instead, bringing me down to 4 health. Cube moves down. It's to my turn now. And I pretty much win, right? Because I move over with 1 with my trample. I guess I can... Yeah, no, this is fine. It doesn't matter because it's over, right? Then I just do overwhelming assault. 6 damage. I have strength, so I get advantage. That doesn't count because it didn't land flat. So we got +0 and +1. So that is 7 damage. And they're dead. GG. All right, another scenario complete. We didn't really use the old spring item, but that's okay. I was saving it if we needed it, but I didn't feel like we needed it. Another scenario down. Look at that. So you feel quite satisfied with your efforts. Past the doors, a crowd is gathering to investigate the commotion. At the front is a very large imp carried on a button throne by 4 minions. When you think about it, this imp must have not been shrunk like the rest of you, which would actually make him very small. Capture the intruders, King Button roars. Let's have some fun in the arena. Play scenario 5, Buttons Arena. And play we shall. We're gonna keep this party going. This is the furthest I've gotten. I've not played Buttons Arena, so entering new territory, like I said. I kind of pre-bend the card here because I know these cards they're all whacked. Buttons Arena. Okay, I guess I should also maybe zoom in so you can always see the card too. There isn't much choice but to be taken into custody and placed in the arena made of a large serving platter filled with old, desiccated food. To your surprise, Button himself jumps down into the arena. Ooh, okay. We're finally getting some monsters besides guards and archers. I am so excited. It only took to scenario 5. But we get to fight Rending Beetles, Arena Sorcerer, and King Button. And we have to defeat all monsters. That's pretty fun. And look at this arena. We are fighting inside of, like it said, was it a large serving platter. That's awesome. The whole I like the whole theme and like story for this. It gets shrunk down. It's a fun idea. I like it. So we got, let's see, we got this guy on 1, this guy on 2, this guy on 3. We got some wild looking traps, and I mean, hopefully y'all can see this. We got a bunch of fruit in the way causing obstacles, and we have what looks like fungus or something. This is a trap that you take damage and you start get a wound from. This muddles you. Yeah, just random food everywhere. Oh man, it's gonna be quite a different experience. So a couple things. This is a level 2. Let me double check. But this is a level 2 scenario, right? I didn't screw up. Yeah, it's a level 2 scenario. Okay. So that's good. So we're not really changing anything from last time. We still have extra hit points and the new card, and I mean I assume the levels just keep increasing, so we're never going back to level 1 now. But once again, I haven't played Best this part, so I can't really say anything for certain, but that just, you know, would make sense to me. Let's before we set this too far up, you know, I'm gonna have to change a few things. Let's look at the items we have to choose from the last scenario, which I imagine it looks like there might be some fun ones. So we have Iron Nail, sorry, I misread that. During your turn, add 2 piercing to all your melee attacks. That does take up 2 hand slots. That's pretty dang good. The other one is Tanglevine Whip. During your attacks, you can choose to discard grass or sun, the yellow or green elements, to add immobilization. Ooh. So from right now, the decision for me is, do I want to keep Venomous Fang and Tangle Whip, or do I get rid of both of them to add Iron Nail? Now with Tanglevine Whip, the issue is it requires a grass or yellow element that I don't think my deck can generate right now. I mean, my cards, the only one is that air element on there. I guess I do have a grass element on Wall of Doom. I kind of forgot about that. And enemies can generate elements too. I believe I can use those, but that does seem a little situational. So what I think I'm going to do is take out the Venomous Fang item and swap it in with my fancy new Iron Nail, which I don't know if any of these baddies in this next scenario are going to have a lot of shield, but if they do, that will be helpful for that. All right, so we're upgrading, we're moving right along. Cool. So let me swap out some of the enemy stuff. So we don't have a 4th enemy, so we can get rid of that for now, but we do have a 3rd like enemy plate here. Kind of set them up like that. That's Kind of makes sense, I guess. Sure. And finally, I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of getting sick of the bandit archers and bandit guards, and there's like a whole stack of enemies over here, so I'm glad to be using something else. So it was the rending beetle, the arena sorcerer, and king button. Where's king button? Are they on the back of the archers and guards? Ah, okay. King button. I guess I'll put that there. And then we do have the arena sorcerer. Oh boy, that's kind of a complicated looking enemy card. And this is just gonna take a second. I want to double check that I got this right, because I don't think I did. I definitely didn't. So yeah, monster 1 is supposed to be the king button. 2 is the sorcerer, and then 3 is the rending beetle. Okay, now we're good. See, I'm glad I double checked that. I don't think it would have made that much of a difference, but you know, like having things as correct as possible here. So we'll move the little initiative cubes off. And what kind of health values are we working with? So king button has 6 health and 3 shields. So man, that piercing is gonna really come in handy. Arena sorcerer has 11 health. Okay, first enemy with double digits. And then we got the rending beetle with 12 health. Yikes. Okay, so multiple enemies with multiple, you know, double digit health stat lines. I don't know if I love that. Which upgrade card do I have? Trample. I think I'm still happy with that. We also have a lot of other extra effects. Let me see if I can maybe zoom in a little bit down here. Yeah, kind of. That doesn't. It's a bad angle. Oh gosh, both of my like camera angles are right off. Well, if you can see at least at the bottom here, so not only does king button always have 3 shield, they also are flying constantly. So all of their movement is flying movement. Arena sorcerer, you probably can't. This is a complicated looking card, as you see. You know, they're generating a bunch of elements. They're going to be using a bunch of elements, but they also always have a what's that called? I'm totally blanking on the name now. Retaliate. Constant retaliation within a range of 3. So anytime they get attacked, they retaliate. That's annoying. And then we got rending beetle, which has 12 health. They, for all of their attacks, apply wounds, and they have a constant 2 shield. So grabbing that shield, that iron nail card, I genuinely haven't looked at any of these enemies, so I didn't know that they had all have shields. So I guess the sorcerer doesn't, but okay. And then I get spawned into the arena right here. So let me take a quick moment to assess the situation, see what we want to do. But I'm gonna be honest, this is the first scenario that's kind of got me a little worried. This is some tough looking enemies, and I don't even know who to go after first. I kind of want to go after the sorcerer first, but I guess who's gonna hit the hardest? I'm worried about the beetle's wounds, because that's just gonna kind of compound. So I feel like I need to try to avoid the beetle. But also king button only has 6 health. I could just sneeze on them and kill him. Like, come on. I should try to wait till some of them group so I can trample them. I know I said this last game, but this might be, you know, I actually might want to start using some of my persistent effects this game. That might be a good idea. But the issue, as I've kind of alluded to, is I feel like I'm very bad with the card management aspect of this. And when you have a persistent effect, then you just have one less card to work with. So it's not great, in my opinion. Especially, I mean, it depends on the effect, depends on how long you have it out. You can kind of choose, I think, to like deactivate it whenever you want. So that's kind of nice, but yeah. So yeah, let me kind of take a, you know, an overview of what I want to do here before we get too far into this. I think maybe I do go after the beetle first. maybe that's the move. Yeah, it sucks. No one's right next to a trap, so I can't do the old like warding strength and push them into a trap. That's not gonna work. I could spare dagger, throw a dagger at them, and then move forward over here towards the sorcerer, so I'm ready to take them out. Or I move back to King Button, because King Button's also going to be healing themselves. I mean, I'm going to have to do like a lot of damage to take them out, because that 3 shield is going to be like all of my attacks. You can see right here, 3, 3, 3, and 4. So even Trample could do... they would still block for once. That would do 3 damage. It's not great. But obviously I still have my Iron Nail, but I think I want to save that for the Beetle. Maybe I don't. I don't know. I'm kind of worried about this scenario, if I'm being frank. But maybe it's also because I've never played this one, so even though I didn't beat the last one, so that was the first time I've done that. Let me reset everything else. I kind of forgot a few things. Got to reset my health value, the little cubes, and that's that. How are we doing time-wise? Oh, 2 hours? Okay. My goal is I want to at least beat this scenario and the next one, which I think we're at 2 hours now. Even though I take like a half hour for each scenario, that will be at like 3 hours. That's cool. Because to kind of tease it out a little bit, the next scenario, we're on scenario 5 right now, but I have scenario 5.5, the promo scenario from Origins Game Fair. So I would love to try to play this, and it looks like it's our first like level 3 scenario, so that could be kind of fun. So I think hopefully we beat the scenario first try. Who knows if that actually happens, and if that happens, I'd love to try the arena challenge scenario, which is the bonus not Gen Con, Origins Game Fair scenario. So that's what I want to kind of tease out, and hopefully we'll get to that. If I can, get something working, get something cooking here. Maybe I do take out the sorcerer first. I don't know, and I just try to avoid the beetle, because the beetle also, it's kind of like the guard. It seems like they can only hit melee. I guess the sorcerer, yeah, 2 of the 3 of the sorcerer's attack are ranged. One of them isn't. 2 of the 3 attacks are King Button are ranged. One of them isn't. One of them heals them. So King Button, I really think I need to take out like all at once. The Rending Beetle, I just need to try to avoid being near. I need to just keep ideally 3 spaces between me and the beetle at all times until I can deal with them properly. Okay. I've made up my mind. I have to choose something, right? I can't sit here all day. I can sit here all day and think about this. But I gotta do something. So I am going to... This is an opening I've probably done a lot now, but like I'm gonna do the shield bash for movement and initiative, and then warding strength, and I'm going to attack the arena sorcerer. So shield bash. Oh, I guess I want me roll initiative for everybody first, because some people might actually go first. I need to stop rolling that off screen. We got that, but it's like I just don't have room on screen to roll this. Okay, there we go. We got 68 for the arena sorcerer, and it's kind of cocked, but whatever. And that for that. So right, so I will get 4 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. That goes back over here. And then I'll use my warding strength attack. 3 damage. Gonna be pushing them 2. All that good stuff. See, this is why I gotta be careful with my dice roll. I'm glad it's still in the starting spot. That was +0. I gotta move my cube. And that does 3 damage to the sorcerer, who has 0 shields, so they're going to be taking the full 3 damage down to 8. But they do have retaliate, so I will be taking 1 in return. Then I also do push them 2 spaces back, and I do strengthen myself. I'm gonna slide these down because this card kind of needs to go like there. Okay, and that's my turn. So next, I guess I just went without even really looking at the initiative values, but luckily no one went before me. So Rending Beetle is up next, and it is going to be moving 2 and attacking for 3. Yikes. So we'll have it move 2 there. And that's that. Next up is King Button, who is moving 2 spaces, and then can attack within range of 3, which luckily I am 4 hexes away, so I'm chilling there. So that's can't really do anything. And then the sorcerer moves forward 1, and then it attacks for 3 within a range of 3, which I am definitely in range of. So they rolled a minus. Let's go. Okay, so they only hit me for 2, bringing me down to 10. And that's it for the sorcerer's turn. Okay, which they're down to what, 8 health? I'm not gonna be able to take them out this next turn, but maybe the turn after. Maybe. Well, I could do 3, 4 damage, 5, 6. Wait, 3, 4, 5, 6. But that's it. Or I do something like this and this, because then I can move through them. That would be 2 damage, and then that's 6 damage total. That's still not enough. Still not enough. That's still just 6 damage. That's not. And I do have my strength though, so I have to remember, like, I don't want to bank on that, but it might be what I need to do. I mean, I don't think there's any way else I can take out this guy, because they have 8 health still. They don't have any shield. Even with my strength, they don't. Yeah, so I just need to just deal 8 damage, which I just can't do. There's no way. I could do like 6. I mean, hypothetically there is a chance if I rolled pluses both times, which is possible because I have strength, so it's more likely now, but I'm not willing to really bet on it. I don't like that. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, let me think on this for a second. Because it looks like any way I cut it, I'm only gonna do 6 damage. Potentially, like I could do 8 if I get very good dice rolls. I should just try it, I guess. I mean, I could hope for the best. So I really should do is play an A card and a B card, and then try to get a decent initiative value, I think is the move here, right? So I do this for like the top, and then, or I could use this for the bottom, that for the top. But I want to save that AoE. That's nice. I might do something like this. That's not even that good. Sorry, I'm really thinking about this here. Because I guess I'm looking at the bottom portion here. So I could do something like this. Could be decent. I'll take initiative 27. All right, I gotta start. I gotta keep moving. So plus value for the king. Then we have the Arena Sorcerer is going at 22. And the Rending Beetle, who's going at 13. So we got some low initiatives today. Okay. So. First, because I'm going at 27, so I'm kind of going after the Beetle and the Sorcerer, which kind of sucks. Beetle's going to attack for 1, so there's no one nearby. Then they move to... And then they attack for 1, which thankfully they're not close yet, but they're getting closer and it's a little scary. The Sorcerer is going to move 3 and then attack for 2, consuming green, but nobody's producing that, so it's not going to do piercing, even though I don't have any shields if they did do piercing. That is a 0 modifier for their attack, so they do 2 damage, bringing me down to 8. Kind of rude, but you know, whatever. So that's it for the Sorcerer. Okay, so then I guess I can switch what I was gonna do now because I didn't realize how late my initiative, and this is even gonna be maybe better. So let's see if I just need a plus on both dice rolls for both attacks to get this guy dead in 1 turn, but let's see if it happens. I don't know. So first dice roll, we get a plus. Let's go. So we'll say that's for Spare Dagger. It doesn't matter really which way it is. So that's 3 damage total, brings them down to 5. They have Retaliate, so they are going to do a damage back to me. And then that was the Spare Dagger, so that comes back to my hand. And then we're going to do our Unstoppable Charge attack. If I get another +1, they're dead. And I do have strength, so there's a chance. Okay, that's a minus. You don't love to see that. And I guess this moves down 1 after my last attack. Oh, it's a 0. They live with 1 health, and that means they also attack me again. That sucks. That sucks. That's not what I wanted to see. Unstoppable Charge is a B card, so that gets discarded. Then we still have King Button, who's going to move 1 and then attack. I'm not within range, so they're not really doing anything. We're chilling. All right, end of the round, on to the next round. Okay, this is maybe not the best move, but whatever. So I'm gonna go 35 as my initiative. I need to heal up. I forget which card has my heal on it, but I need to heal up soon. There's a plus for King Button. It is going to be a plus for the Sorcerer. Sorcerer is almost dead. Like, they're basically guaranteed to die this turn, surely. And a 59. So everybody rolled max, like the latest initiative values, which is great for us, because I need to get stuff done. So, Trample. Move 4 with jumping. All enemies moved through with this ability take an attack of 2. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I moved through the Sorcerer, so they're taking an attack of 2. My my little cube should have moved down 1 after last attack. It's +0. They take 2 damage, and the Sorcerer is dead. Good stuff. Trample is an A card, so after use, gets flipped over. Damn. Well, I was going to say it's nice because my skewer is going to hit them with piercing, but I just flipped over my air element, so now it's not showing anymore. So now it's not going to do the piercing damage unless I add my iron nail, but I don't know if it's worth it for just this one attack. But if not, I'm probably not going to do any damage. Okay, I should have moved this down again, right? I feel like I'm so bad about forgetting to move that cube. I'm sorry. But I'm going to do my attack. Whatever, I'm just going to do it as is. That is a 0, but that's a +1. So that's 4 damage total. But they have 3 shields, so I only do 1 damage. And that's a B card, so that goes there, and that's whatever. Okay, who's next? It's the beetle moving 1. And attacking twice. Man, that beetle seems deadly. I'm glad I'm not anywhere near it at the moment, but I'm going to have to deal with it soon. I think now that the sorcerer's out, King Button is definitely my next target, and then I'll deal with the beetle last. Health is not doing too good, but besides that, I feel like my pace is okay. I need to take out King Button next turn, which I think between Overwhelming Assault and Iron Nail, I should be able to do. I also don't think I moved my cube again after saying I need to move my cube more. King Button, I don't think I did their turn yet. They move 1, and then they're attacking for 3 damage. I'm gonna make sure to move their cube after. That's gonna be hitting me for 4. Ouch. Brings me down to 2. I don't love that. Okay, well, I mean, I'm going to have to use these 2 cards. And I'm probably also going to use both items during this turn to really save myself. So let's see what everybody's doing. So King Button is going to be doing that last action, but they're probably going to be dead, hopefully. But Rending Beetle is going first, which is really bad. That's actually really, really, really bad. I was hoping to avoid that entirely. Yeah, no, that's not good. My whole plan was to avoid that, but now it's here. So, okay. So Rending Beetle goes first. They move 2. They are now blocking my path, which is not good. And then they attack me for 1. That would kill me. That is 2 damage. That kills me. I have to do one of the options to block damage. There's no other way unless I just want to lose. So I either have to discard 2 B cards or lose 1 card from my discard pile, which, as much as it sucks, I think I'm just gonna have to lose a card from my discard pile. I'm gonna just lose Skewer, I guess. I need to not take that. It's just 2 damage too, which is awful. I think I took like 5 earlier and I didn't do anything, or maybe that was last game. Whatever. All right, that's it for Rending Beetle's turn. Now it's my turn. Let me think about what I want to do here. I definitely want to do that, so I need to do that. But if I... Oh, also they wounded me when they attacked. That was the other killer. Which means at the start of each turn, I'm going to take damage if I don't do anything. I think I'm going to have to heal. I'm going to have to heal. So I'm going to go up to 5 health. And that's going to add +2 to my strikes. And that gets rid of my wound. And then I will attack just with the basic attack, not the crazy attack. I guess I could do the crazy attack, but it doesn't seem worth it. No, we'll just do the basic attack of 2, but then it's added 2, so it's 4 damage total. Let's see what we can do. Damn, I should have did a big attack because that would have killed him because that was the ×2 modifier. I didn't know I was gonna roll that though. So that's 4 damage ×2. It's 8 damage -2. That's still half of the beetle's health in one hit. They're down to 6 health. Which at this point, maybe I try to kill them first because I'm a little bit more concerned about them than King Button. But that was that. That gets discarded. This gets discarded. I'm out of cards, so I'm gonna have to short rest. But King Button goes first. They move 1. They can't. They're gonna attack me for 3. I also got to move my cube. And move their cube for their attack, but they hit for 2 damage, which brings me down to 3 health. Not a lot. I have to short rest, so that means I gotta just do this stupid stuff. And I lose trample. That's fine, I guess. I guess I'm just choosing both of these as my cards. I don't have much else of a choice right now, do I? I think I might lose this because I run out of cards again. I mean, I guess that hasn't happened this game yet, but all right, let's see what we can do. So let's roll for what King Button's doing. They're going at 43. The beetle is going at 59. So I'm gonna hit them with, I guess, sorry, I'm thinking. I'm gonna hit him with a bottom attack first. 2 damage with 1 piercing. +1. So 3 damage. 1 piercing. So it only does 2 damage, but that's still not, it's something. That becomes a B card. And then warding strength, I hit the warding beetle again. Or the rending beetle. It only does 2 damage, which I guess their shield blocks. But then I do push them for 1, which hurts their health and gives them a wound. And buffs up my strength. Did I say I was doing the iron nail? Because I probably should have. They'd be dead if I did, because they've blocked 3 damage. I don't think I said that. I probably should have. But it's too late now. It is too dang late now. I think I might just be dead. Because, let's see. King Button's going to go move 2. And then they attack for 3. Or they're attacking for 2, sorry. And then they do ×2, so that actually hits me for 4. I think I'm dead. I don't think there's much. I might just restart this. What are we doing on time? Yeah, I'm gonna restart this. That was a wipe. That was just a warm-up. First time I've done that scenario. Maybe I should have changed my... I think I just need to avoid the beetle a little bit better and take out the sorcerer a little bit quicker. I think besides that, my strategy was pretty okay. Probably not the best. I mean, I feel like the luck was okay there. I didn't feel like I had particularly good or bad luck. It felt like kind of just both. So yeah, let's just retry it. Maybe try to use the traps more. Maybe I should actually use some of my persistent effects. I wish I could try to line up some of the area of effects. I think that would be pretty neat if I could let that happen. But hey, you know what? It doesn't take long to reset. We are actually pretty much there already, so look at that. That's one thing, like I said, this game, I'm a big fan of quick setup and teardown, and this game definitely has that. Definitely does. Double check, but I don't think I need to do anything else. I think we just gotta play it back. Just gotta do it again. Round 2 in Buttons Arena. So yeah, the sorcerer hits hard, and they're doing all the element stuff, which is annoying. The beetle hits really hard, and they apply wounds. So I definitely need to do what I kind of did last time and avoid them pretty much at all costs. So let's get going and figure out what I want my first move to be. So I think I also forgot King Button can fly. I don't think I played that super properly last time, so I'll have to keep a better eye on that. I can move the guy too, but I can't push him into like any traps. I probably want a low initiative first round so I can get away from like the beetle. Probably go in like the top right corner. I just wish I could hit multiple enemies this first round. I definitely can't. All right, I think this is the same thing I probably do most games, but I like this kind of opening move of doing shield bash and warding strength. That gives me initiative of 15. Oh gosh, I bumped one thing and it's all over. Okay. So let's see what everybody else's initiative is. King Button is going at 76. Arena Sorcerer is going at 68. And Rending Beetle is going at 59. I need to be better about maybe using my items. I didn't really use them last round. I think, like I said, I kind of mentioned this, but I was like, if I at that very last round would have used Iron Nail, I think I would have killed the beetle, because I think it blocked exactly 3 damage between my 2 attacks. So that's on me. I was saving it for an opportunity that was more perfect than, you know, what I kind of needed. So yeah, I'm going to use my 4 movement to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of go chill in this right corner. Shield Bash gets flipped over. Mainly because, like I mentioned, I want to take out the Sorcerer and King Button first. I want to avoid the Beetle kind of at all costs. And the Beetle is kind of trapped back there. So they have to kind of like move around. And I can keep trying to kind of avoid them best I can. And then I will do my Warding Strength attack against whatever it is, the Sorcerer, which I got +0 for. So that does 3 damage to them, bringing them down to 8 health. And it pushes them back 2. And they retaliate for 1 because of that. And I get strengthened. And nothing else. No ands. No more ands. That's it. Okay. Card flipped over. That was it for my turn. Now we go in initiative order with the Rending Beetle going first. They move 2. They're probably moving this way. That's it for, or sorry, they only move 1. They attack for 2. Then Sorcerer moves 1. Should be right there. And attacks for 3. That's kind of a lot. They did get negative, so they're only hitting me for 2, bringing me down to 10. Love to see that. That's it for the Sorcerer. And then King Button moves 1 and is going to attack within range of 3. So maybe they're just moving there and going 1, 2, 3. It's going to hit for 3 damage, potentially. Which, yes, that 3 damage does hit. Already bringing me down to 7 health after the first turn. I'm like at half health. I love that. That's so fun. This game's so fun. Having a great time. Okay, I'm trying to, so I want to Yeah, I got no plan here. Got no plan. I'm not gonna be able to take him out this round, I don't think. If I did spare dagger, that could hit him for 3, potentially 4. And then that would be 2. 5 together, 6. I would need perfect dice rolls again for both the spare dagger and the trample for it to really work. Oh, but I could do skewer and trample, do skewer first. Why didn't I do that last time? Am I stupid? Am I stupid? No wonder I always lose at this game. No wonder. What was I thinking? Because the one time I wanted to... Because this card uses the air that this generates, but then I used the 1 first last time. Maybe because I had to? But I'm going to lock this in with initiative 35 and see what happens. Let me roll up initiative for everybody else. We got King Button going at initiative 5. That's pretty early. We got Sorcerer going at 51. And the Rending Beetle is going at 25. So everybody except... I'm going second last. Right before the Sorcerer. So King Button goes first. They are just shielding themselves for 2, healing for 2, and generating some elements that unfortunately it looks like the Sorcerer might use if they get to live. The Beetle goes and is moving 2 spaces. King Button already went. Then it is my turn. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. So first I want to do my skewer attack. That's going to do 4 damage, 2 piercing in a line, hitting the Sorcerer, going down. Okay, and I do have strength, so I get advantage on this roll. So 4 damage. Okay, so that's 5. We don't even need to roll again because we know that's as good as it's going to get. So 5 damage brings them down to 3 health. They will retaliate because they're annoying like that. And then that was Skewer. And that's a B card, so that gets discarded. And then I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. Move through them. And that's going to deal a 2 damage attack to them. Now I have to really hope I get a plus here. Okay, this is 0, so that does piercing. That doesn't help. That rolled off the screen, but that was a plus. I'm getting pretty dang lucky with these dice rolls, I will admit. But that is 4 damage total, killing them, and that means that I won't be taking their retaliation bonus because they're dead. It also means they don't get their turn because they're dead. That was lucky. That was lucky. That was very lucky. Okay, I'm not great on health, but I still have both of my items. One guy's down. Haven't even touched the other 2. But I'm in an okay position, I think. Yeah, we just gotta rock and roll from here. I think I probably need to heal up. Maybe I spared dagger as well. Just try to hit the beetle. But what's the point? If they have 2 shield, they're probably going to block most of it. But then that adds +2, so that's kind of worth it. Okay, we'll go for it. So let's see what everybody's initiative is. King Button is going at initiative 76. And Rending Beetle, that was kind of cocked. I don't like it. Okay, same dice roll. Going at 13, which unfortunately is before me. So that's going to kind of... Actually, it doesn't ruin my plans because I'm in this bottom right corner. Beetle goes first. It moves 1, 2, slowly inching their way towards me, which is a little scary. I will first heal for 3. Love that. 9 health is a lot A lot more comfortable. And then I get +2 damage for my attacks, and then I will use my spare dagger. So I'm attacking for 5 damage. And +0 gives me still base 5 damage. They block 2 of it, so I still hit them for 3. Bringing them down to 9. Not bad, not bad. I just knocked my character over. They should be in this like little bottom corner there. And that's that, right? So spare dagger then becomes a B card. This is a B card, so it becomes a discarded card. Beetle already went first, so it's King Button's turn, and they move 1, and they're definitely not within range to do anything. I think at this point I might actually take out the Beetle. I mean, the King Button is way far away on the other side of the map. And I have my Overwhelming Assault. I have my Iron Nail card. I could do something like, yeah, move. But I could possibly miss, which is not fun. And 6 damage isn't, even with piercing, isn't enough to kill him. So maybe I don't. Maybe I just move up to King Button, get away from this guy, and then try to... Well, regardless, I guess I'm choosing these 2 cards, choosing 61. Maybe I'll choose 86 as my initiative. Because regardless, I'm going after the Beetle. No matter what I do. The Beetle will hit me. This is unavoidable truth. And that's going to start dealing wounds to me. This is not fun. And I just got rid of my healing cards, so I'm going to have to use it and wait for it to cycle back through to get it again. So I'm not in a great spot here. Okay, so Beetle goes first. They attack for 1. I'm not near them. They move for 2. They're next to me now. They attack for 1. That's unfortunately cocked because that was a good roll for me, and now I rolled worse for me, so I take 2 damage and a wound. And then what is the king doing? Moves, flies around. 1, 2, 3. I am unfortunately within their range, so they hit for 2 damage. Bring me down to 5 health. All right, not cool, not cool. But now I get to do some fun stuff. Specifically, let's see. I'm gonna do my 3 movement with my unstoppable charge. I stop at the end. I get to muddle the king. And then I will do my overwhelming assault attack with my iron nail. I'm going to use the iron nail. And thank goodness I rolled exactly what I needed, because 2 piercing means they still had a shield. They had 6 health total. So I needed to do 7 damage, with which +1 damage is 7 damage. Unfortunately, this card is lost at this point. But it also, the King Button is dead, so, you know, love that. Boom. The Beetle already went, so we're just we're down to the Beetle. That's all that's left. End of my turn. I have no cards, so I have to take these. I'll try to look away and remove one of them. It's my warding strength. I kind of like that card. Honestly, it's okay. We'll get by with these 2. Maybe. We got basically 2 turns on the clock, and then that's it. So beginning of my turn, I also take a damage. I'll be choosing at least the 15 initiative to go for, but they're still going before me. So they attack for 1, they move to an attack again. They don't hit me at all, thankfully. And so I guess, yeah, I'm moving down 1 with shield bash. And then, yeah, I do my trample attack, right? So I hit him for 4 with 2 piercing. And I did roll a +1, so that's 5 damage, bringing him down to 4 health. Okay, that becomes a B-side card. And then that's it. So beginning of my next turn, I do lose another health to my wound. Not great, but I also think this cube needs to go back to the top. I have 1 chance to win this, and it's not looking very possible. But I'm going to try. I'm going to go at 20 initiative and hope the beetle goes after me. Okay, that's a good start. It's a good start. So I'm going to do my heal for 3 up to 6. And I get to add +2 to my attacks. And then I'm going to attack for 5. And I need to get a plus. Right? I think I have to. My God, these dice rolls. That's 6 damage total. They block for 2. And I kill them. I genuinely, I think that's the second game where it's come down to a single dice roll that determines it all, and I just keep getting lucky. I'm not gonna complain because I'm not very good at this game, so I need all the luck I can get. But we did it. We defeated the button arena. Look at that. That was tough. It was the first one that we had to take, 2 tries on. But we did it. We made it. Persevered. And now we get to see what happens after. The crowd gasps as you best Button, bringing him to his knees. I yield, he cries. You've taken the king. You've beaten King Button, and so I offer you a boon. What can my kingdom do for you? We need to get upstairs, the collector offers, to get over to the crooked bone. Button nods knowingly. I can grant you passage, but there's one task I may ask of you first. Can you take care of my pest problem? If you're the Mind Thief, you can continue to Scenario 7. Otherwise, you play Scenario 6, Pest Control. We got 2 new items to choose from. Magnetic Needle. During your turn, control 1 enemy within 5 squares where you get to move them 2 spaces. That's kind of cool. What the heck? Or leftover table scraps. During your turn, heal 1 damage to self. And honestly, that seems a little bit more useful than Old Springs, but I don't know if I want that at the moment. I'm kind of limited on my items. The magnetic needle sounds cool, I'll admit. I'm intrigued, to say the least, but all right, let's reset this real fast, and I'm gonna do 1 more scenario. Just 1. Get all my cards back. Put them in order. And then we'll be rocking and rolling. Okay, we're good there. Health is good. Enemies are good. So like I said, I got this game at Origins Game Fair here in the great state of Ohio, in the great city of Columbus. And at that game fair, they had these cool little Origin specific, I guess, or Origin original scenarios, these bonus scenarios. So you buy, buttons and bugs at your local friendly game store, you're not going to get this. You're only going to get this if you're going to Origins. And this is the Arena Challenge. I'm pretty sure you can download this and play it yourself. I don't think it's, gatekeeped to Origins exclusively, but if you want a printed official copy, you can get it at Origins. But I'm fairly certain I've seen that you can I think print and download this yourself. So don't worry. If you want to try it, I think you're able to. But yeah, let's quickly figure out what's going on here with this Arena Challenge scenario. We kind of get this in view here. So you may play this after scenario 5. The crowd's excitement has yet to die down. Button's lip curl into an impish smile. On second thought, how would you feel about a rematch? He asks. If you put on a good show for my citizens, I'll show you the way myself. It does sound better than pest control duties, and you can't deny that the uproarious cheer of the crowd are more than thrilling than you imagined. So I must kill King Button, Bandit Archer, and Mouse as we enter in this round 2 rematch of the arena. So Button, that's staying the same. We got to go with a Bandit Archer on enemy number 2. Then enemy number 3 is a Mouse, which we have 2 of. So we got 4 enemies in this one. Oh boy. Make sure everything's kind of on screen and okay. That's pretty good. So let's see. Mouse number 2. Archer. King Button. Mouse number 1. Me. Wait, before we get into this, let's backtrack a little bit because something I kind of noted earlier. This is our first level 3 scenario. So, couple things happen. First off, probably the least exciting. Level 3 means our health. We start at 15 health. Love to see that. And get to flip this bad boy over to side 3. Whoa, holy cow, look at that. We got some honestly kind of crazy modifiers going on now. We just get we get some extra pushes. There's some extra piercing. We now can muddle enemies on a success here. Like, this is looking kind of cool. Love to see that. We got our HP. We got our new thing. Items. We can always hold items equal to half the scenario value rounded up. So level 3 is 1.5, rounded up is 2. So we get another item. Just double checking something in the rules real fast here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, okay. I was just double checking that I'm saying some stuff correctly. So what that means is we get an extra bag item, which I'm going to grab that magnetic needle. That one sounds really cool. To control an enemy? Like, sheesh. All right. And do we have what other? I'm not huge. I don't know how this old spring hasn't really come into play much. So do I have anything else I'd rather have? Add +1 to your attacks. That's actually decent. I'm gonna try swapping back in the bottle cap helm because I've had some good luck with that in some of like my solo playthroughs, but at least, you know, so far today it hasn't come up, but I'll try. It's a little hard to make sure I got this all kind of straight and organized. A little quick note here. Can I zoom in on the correct part? No, I can't. There we go. Some items have the symbol, which just means they get exhausted when you use the item. When you do a long rest, you get to refresh your items. That is, except for these items that have like this little X, just means essentially you discard them when you use them and they're gone for the scenario. Even though, as you've seen, I haven't long rested at all, which maybe is a detriment to myself. And, you know, not trying to like brag like, oh, I haven't even long rested. I mean, maybe I should be long resting more. To me, it seems kind of like a last resort kind of option. Maybe I am misinterpreting that. That's just maybe my perception of how long rests work. But yeah, that's kind of why I've just been doing short rests. So enemy number 1, we got King Button back. We got two, or just one archer, sorry. But we have two mice that have 9 health and 1 retaliate. So I think I have a pretty clear idea of what I want to do, which is get to the archer, take them out, and then take out King Button. And then we take out the mice after. I think that's kind of like the order of operations, at least how I'm going to plan to do this. But before we start, I almost forgot another important thing. Level 3 scenario means we get to upgrade another card. Very exciting stuff, I know. Let me think about what I want to upgrade, though. I'm pretty sure the one I quite liked... I mean, I like upgrading the cards I use. Brute Force is one I like a lot, and that just seems good. So I think we'll upgrade Warding Strength to Brute Force and try that out for a bit. I think we can always like swap between scenarios or switch it out. So look at that. Half of our cards are upgraded now. That's exciting. Moving up in the world. We got 3 items, 15 health points. Got our level 3 card going on. We're going to try out this origin specific scenario. I don't know if you can see, but at the very bottom down there is super tiny text. It does say origins, so you know it's official. But yeah, let's get started. I do want to double check also with the terrain. I'm a little confused on one thing. I you know, green terrain I'm pretty familiar with. We've seen a lot of that. You just can't move through it, but you can like shoot through it. You can see enemies. Okay, that's what I've got. Because we're seeing purple terrain for the first time, which I forgot what that is. That's just difficult terrain, and it requires 2 movement points to enter into, except when flying or jumping. That's the only exception. So what I need to do is do a big jump. And try to... It would be nice if I could hit both of them, but I don't think there's any move I have that would be able to hit both. Yeah, they're just at a bad angle. So I'm gonna probably like jump with my trample and then do my warding strength. Something like that, which isn't going to give me a very good initiative, but it's worth a shot, right? This should not be there because we haven't rolled initiative. This should be at the top. Yeah, I haven't reset anything. Okay, so let's roll initiative for King Button first, and they're going to be at, whoops, not that, 43 initiative. Then the Bandit Archer, singular, 31. So they're both going before me. I have a low initiative and 46. Everybody's going before me. I didn't realize my initiative was that low. That's going to maybe change what I do then. I don't know. So let's go in order. So Bandit Archer is up first. They will move 1 and attack within range of 2, or within range of 3, which I am within. But they are hitting for 2 damage. Which I kind of rolled off the screen there, but that was just a 0. So that does hit me for 2. And then that is it for the archer's turn. Then we have King Button, who is moving, I guess, kind of just 1. Like they could move 2, and they do fly, but that would kind of put them in an occupied spot, which I don't think they can do. They're gonna hit me for 2 within range of 3, which I'm not within that range, so they can't really do anything. Sorry, Jonesy just went walking by. And then the mice go, which they're gonna be attacking for 1, moving 2, attacking for 2 with 2 piercing. And these mice might be kind of an issue. So first, let's go. Yeah, the purple one goes first. Which, yeah, they're gonna move, attack 1, move 2, and then attack for 2. Which thankfully, they only hit me for 1. Thankfully. And then the other one goes just 1 movement, and they can't go into the difficult terrain, so that's... Oh wait, that's the archer. Whoops. They're probably not going to move into the trap, so they're probably just going to move there. And then that's it. Okay, so I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. That, and I was jumping, so that's great. Wait, where did I start here? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd like to move through the archer so I can do the 2 attack to him. And that's a 0, so we're just doing 2 damage to the archer, bringing him down to 5 health. Not too bad. Trample then goes back in my hand as a brand new card. Then we brute force. So that's a 3 damage attack with a -1 rolled, so only 2 damage. Move the cube. 2 damage to the archer. I then push them to... I don't know if I can push them into difficult terrain. I'm just going to assume I can. They also get muddled, which is fun. And I strengthen myself, which is great. And I think that's it. I guess that these are not... I don't really like putting these in order of their initiative. I got really low initiative cards. I was just noticing that now. Okay, and the rats already went, so that's it for this round. Okay. Yikes, not the best kind of first round. So I'd like to try to take out the king button as quick as I can. I don't have any big damaging attacks though. I need good piercing attacks to really do anything worthwhile. So I'm here. So the king might move towards me, probably not. Sorry, I'm really thinking here. Because like I think I might go with the crippling offensive, where I'm gonna like go next to them, cause them to become immobilized and muddied, and then I can use my top action to attack them, use my iron nail to break through their shield, and then I use my magnetic needle to mind control them and make them move into the trap where they're gonna take a wound, immobilized, muddled, and they're just gonna be screwed, right? And that'll at least help me deal with the king for a little bit, and that's if I could pull that off. But I think my other card would be Shield Bash, which would give me not a guaranteed first initiative, but pretty dang close. Only thing that might beat me is the mice. So starting out, king button will be going at 43. Then we got the archers going at 31, and the mice going at 19. Thankfully after me. So yeah, my plan is I move forward with my crippling offensive, where I go 1, 2. That's great. I end next to the king, which they become muddled and immobilized, which is great, because then I attack them with my shield bash, and I activate my armor nail to break through their, well, armor. Yeah, this isn't the easiest thing to just rotate this like that. It's okay. We're there. Okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. So I'm attacking them for 3 with 2 piercing. And I do get advantage. That's fantastic, right? So 3 with 2 piercing, but that turns into 6 with 2 piercing. So that means I do 5 damage, right? Oh, this is it. Because that brings them down to 1 health. The piercing broke through 2 shields. They dealt 6, but they blocked 1, so there's 5. And then that's great, because then I use my magnetic needle to take control of an enemy within 5 spaces, and the only thing I can do is move them 2 spaces. But that's great for me because I just make King Button fly onto a trap, and I think that's it. I'm gonna double check. I guess I should have checked this earlier, but they're flying, so I don't know if traps affect them. It doesn't. Oh, that sucks. This whole plan was contingent on them being able to take this trap damage, and it almost actually worked out. Damn. Damn, that's unfortunate. Because I just wasted 2 items and a lot of time and effort to do that. I mean, the King Button's almost taken care of, so that's good. The Archer's almost dead, but then we still have the 2 mice to deal with, which I need to really, like, I think start using some of my AoE cards to deal with them. Let's keep going in initiative order. So the mice are moving 3, attacking for 2. So mouse number 1. So it's moving 3? Attacking for 2. I don't even think it's gonna come close. 1, 2, 3, and then the other goes 1, 1, 2, 3. That one's going to attack, and it missed. Sucks for them. Okay. Archer is gonna go. It's gonna move 1 and then attack within range. 1, 2, 3. It is within range. It's attacking for 2. Oh god. Oh no. Okay, I think they were there. They were there. I think I was here. I gotta be more careful with my dice roll. That just about ruined everything. That was a minus, so they're only gonna be hitting me for 1. Health, I'm not trying to jinx myself, but I'm doing pretty good so far. That's it for the archers. King Button is immobilized, so they can't move, and they're going to be attacking for 2, but they are muddled as well. So they did get a crit, but instead they're only going to be hitting me for 1. Sucks for them. They lose both of these. The archer, I think, was also supposed to be muddled, but I think they rolled the worst the first time, so it's all good there. And then the cube needs to move. That's it for King Button. And we're chilling. So I'm going to spare dagger attack someone. And I'll have the bottom action. I could heal up and maybe do that first. That's maybe not a terrible idea. So I'll go with 20 initiative. Let's see what King Button gets. They're going pretty late. I think they're dead. That's my goal, at least. Archers will be going first. Well, maybe not. Mice might be going first. Yeah, mice are actually going first. It's not good either, because they got this is not a fun attack. Not for us. So purple mouse goes first. They're trying to move 2. They certainly can't. There's too many. They could try to move around, I guess, but they can't get to me. But the red mouse is already at me, and so it's going to attack me for 1, which that does hit for 1. That brings me down to 9 health. Okay, that's the rat's turn. It's the bandit archer's turn. They're moving for 1 and then attacking for 2 damage. Dice is kind of cocked. We'll reroll it. Okay, well, that's better for me, but not for them. It's only 1 damage. Brings me down to 8. Then it is my turn. Okay, let me think about this. So yeah, I'm gonna do my healing first. That brings me up to 11. And what else? Add +2 to my attacks, and then I use Spare Dagger to hit the king for 5. That's kind of cocked. Even if I rolled a minus, yeah, it doesn't matter because that's 4. But then I have piercing, so they're dead. Even if I didn't have piercing, it would have been fine. So king button is done for. Great. And the Spear Dagger was already used, so that becomes a B card. Wall of Doom then gets added to there. And that's everybody for this round. So we still have 2 fully health rats to deal with. And an archer that has a little bit of health. So best I could do is 35 initiative. I hope the archer doesn't move, but I think even if it were to attack, it doesn't need to. 35 initiative. Come on, come on. Yes. That's what we want to see for the archer, is a late initiative. The mice, I couldn't care less what they do. They're going first. Okay. So this one's going 1, 2. And it's going to attack me for 1. Dice is kind of cocked, but we'll let it slide. They hit me for 1. And then the other mouse is attacking. Okay, that's really cocked. We'll re-roll that. And that was -1, so that there's some negative modifier, so it misses. That's it for the mice. Now it's my turn, and look at this. I finally, once in this game, have a skewer set up. It's awesome. So we can go ahead and do that. So yeah, we'll attack skewer. That's a 3 damage in a straight line. Thank goodness it's a circle modifier. So it does actually add piercing, which doesn't matter. But 3 damage does take out the archer. So that's good. 3 damage also to the 1 rat. The rat does retaliate though. I think it actually retaliates for 2 because it always has default 1 retaliate, and then it retaliates again with a wound, which is not super fun. So that was skewer. And then I'm just going to try it, I guess, to overwhelming assault the 1 rat that's left at 6 health. Why not? I think this should have moved down. Yeah. I think. I don't know if I moved that down or not. But that is a -2 to overwhelming assault. So I only deal 4 damage. Brings him down to 2 health. I guess I'm taking another 2 damage and another wound. Yikes. And I lose that card. So then end of round, I'm out of cards. I gotta just throw one of these away. I don't have too many options left. Oh, and I lose trample. That's not great. Could be worse. Could be worse. Start of the turn, I do lose 2 health because of my wounds. I did lose the 1 card that could heal me, so I gotta just finish this as quick as possible. Ideally, in the next, like, I have 2 turns left. This turn and 1 more, so it's not like there's really much else outside of that. Okay, that was kind of cocked. We'll allow it. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to hit both of them, so I'm just gonna try to hit this one that's almost dead for 3. I think I didn't move this down one. And of course, I rolled a miss. Of course. That's so bad. I think it's over. I don't think there's anything I can do now. I mean, I can move away for 4. Just try to run away, kind of. I mean, that's not going to really help because they can both chase after me. I did avoid the 1 at least. The other's still going to hit me for possibly 2. They're hitting me for 2. And then the wounds are going to kill me next turn. Dang. Yeah, the start of the round, wounds kill me. Shoot. That's a tough one. I felt like I was really close, but I had a couple bad rolls in there that just really ruined me. And I think having those mice do like the double retaliate plus a wound is not fun at all. I think it's really tough. This is a fun scenario. I like this one. It makes it even better. That's the limited, promotional scenario. But yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of wrap up there for today. But you know what? I mean, we'll have to try this challenge again, the arena challenge. I'm sure, that was just a first attempt. I'll have to try it again. Maybe switch out some of the cards, switch out some of the items, stuff like that. Try a couple combinations of different stuff. But yeah, this was a fun one. That was a fun one. Sorry about that. Had to check my phone. So that was Gloomhaven buttons and bugs. I'll give my quick final thoughts. So some quick context, if you don't really know, I have played the original Gloomhaven. I've only played the digital version of that. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I wasn't very good at it either, which, there's games that I like that I'm not good at. And there's games that I don't like that I am good at. So it's not like that's like an indicator of anything. But it doesn't help, if I constantly losing at a game. But at the end of the day, I was like, it's a cool concept, but I just wasn't a huge fan of it. Digital version is well done. I'm not saying it's a good game, just saying it's not one for me. But then I was like, Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion came out. I was like, all right, smaller. It's got the cool little booklet, so you don't have to like set up the maps or anything. Lots simpler to get to the table. I'll give it a shot. And I enjoyed it more than the original, but I still didn't love it. And I think even though it was a more streamlined version, it was still had kind of a lot of setup. There was kind of a lot of like housekeeping to it with just kind of some like running the game a little bit with some of like running the little elements board and managing all the effects and the conditions and the enemies and getting this and that and the cars. And it's still, I imagine, I haven't played the physical version of Gloomhaven. I imagine Jaws of the Lion is still significantly more streamlined. That's kind of the whole point. So I get it, but it still felt like a lot for me for a game that I still wasn't really enjoying. So I got rid of Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. I've returned to the digital version since, and I've played it more. And while I still enjoyed it, I still am equally bad at it and still not crazy about the game. So then that takes me here to Origins Game Fair, where I stumble upon Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs, which I've heard of, and I decided to pull the trigger on it, mainly for a couple of reasons. One, it's a solo only game, and I am, if you've watched this channel for any amount of time, you've come to realize that I am a solo gamer primarily. I mean, not exclusively, but that's just what I have time for a lot of the time. It's just busting out games every now and again. And so having a solo only Gloomhaven game piqued my interest. I also was a big fan of the idea that this was originally a game that someone made on Board Game Geek. That was just a fan creation. I believe that this was originally Gloomhaven, like an 18 card version of Gloomhaven. And then people at, what was it, Cellofair? No, that's not the name. But the company that makes Gloomhaven reached out to whoever made Gloomhaven and was like, hey, let's make this into a legit, licensed product. And I think they did an amazing job with, I've never played the original that this is based on, but just making the whole game fit into a box that's, this size. I could fit into the palm of my hand easily. I mean, technically you could fit the original Gloomhaven on your hand, but you know what I mean? Like, this is small. Like, I couldn't fit it in my pocket, but it's, it's compact. It's small, not a whole lot there. Tiny box. And I think, I was like, I want to support, solo games, and I want to support, companies that reach out to fans and, up and coming game designers and making their products a real thing. So I was like, you know what? It's like $20, pretty cheap. I'll get it. And as I've been playing it, I will say, I think I mentioned this earlier in the stream. I will say that this is currently my favorite version of Gloomhaven. I think this is the one that kind of clicks. I think it's just simple enough, but there's still enough there that it's, not a whole lot of upkeep to worry about, not a lot of setup, not a lot of teardown. The rules are simple. The iconography is well done. I mean, it's great. It's really fun. This is a fun, solid solo game. I like that it has a bunch of different characters, that they all play very differently. I like that you can do different scenarios based on what characters you play. I think that's really cool. I love the idea of the upgrading system, that you get more health as you upgrade your cards, you get more items, you get a better, I don't even know what I was calling these, like the modifier boards up here. And I think like this is one part that I think is probably the coolest. Like, maybe that's just me, but like, I think it's just so cool. It's like you get your own little, modifier board, and it's like your own modifier deck, OG Gloomhaven that you can change and upgrade, and that gives you cool abilities. I think that's just really neat. And they do a lot of clever stuff in this game with how they do the initiatives and how they do the little rotating cube for the different modifiers. I think is really a clever way to do stuff. Speaking of clever, that they're fitting all you can on one card because they don't have a lot of room to work with. So you have, this is, the worst card to grab as an example, but you have this card that has the scenario outline and the goals, the end text, you have the map on the back, and then you also have the 2 items all in one card. Like, they really fit a lot on one card. And it's really cool. I'm a fan. So while I'm still, I'm not a Gloomhaven fanboy by any means. I'm still not great at the game. I will say this is probably my favorite version, and also probably the version I'm best at so far, which, once again, those things don't necessarily go hand in hand. Just because I'm the best at this version of Gloomhaven isn't the reason I like it more, but it does help, right? Like, not losing on scenario 1 3 times in a row and actually getting past a few scenarios, like, it's good. It's great. And then another thing about this game that I'm a huge fan of in solo games is they have modular difficulty. Granted, it's not a huge difference, at least it doesn't seem to change that much. It's just, you just have different cards for the enemies, like modifier board, which, I mean, first off, if you know me, I love solo games that have modular difficulties. I think that's almost essential for me to like really like a game, because, after you play a game for a while, it's like you get kind of good at the game and then you want to start, increasing the challenge. So the fact that it has different characters you can play, different difficulties, it's, I'm impressed. Like I've kind of mentioned, there's 20 scenarios total. You don't play through all of them when you play through a campaign. But this is the furthest I've gotten. So this is only at scenario 5. We're only like a quarter of the way through the scenarios. So there's, probably a lot of cool stuff that they do in some of the later scenarios. I just haven't explored that far yet in the game. But yeah, overall, I am impressed. I am impressed that they fit such a small game into a small box, and somehow they made it the best version of Gloomhaven. In my opinion, obviously, at least they've made my favorite version of Gloomhaven into this small little box that's solo only, got a bunch of characters, and it's just like, it's a cool system. I like it. I still want to, you know, try it more and get better at it, and get better at, like, you know, managing cards and knowing when to rest and knowing when to lose cards to take damage and knowing, you know, when to do like a late initiative to try to get enemies to come at you and all this other stuff. There's definitely this, you know, a lot of the tactics and strategies that you have in Gloomhaven, the original, and Jaws of the Lion are still definitely present here, obviously to a much less extent because of the simplified and streamlined version of this and just the shrunk down components. It's kind of the nature of the beast, but I think they still did an excellent job. And I think this is a fantastic game. I kind of bought it on a whim, more as if anything, like I said, to kind of support solo games and support companies like making, you know, fan creations into real things, but also at the end of the day, I don't want to call it like a novelty product, because I feel like that's kind of diminishing to what it is. But at the end of the day, like, look at this, it's a tiny Gloomhaven box. Like, it's kind of awesome. Like, even if the game sucked, like, I might just keep it just because it's kind of a cool box and a cool concept. Like, it's just neat. I think that they did this. The Learn to Play book is pretty great. I get they can't fit a whole rule book in the box, so like I get it, makes sense. It's kind of weird that they don't just have like a PDF version of the rules. They have a website that's like a living rules, which, to be honest, as like a software guy, that's a really interesting way to do it, but it's also kind of annoying not having just like a PDF. They also use this app called Dized for the tutorial, which is apparently a thing that some games use. It's the first time I've done one, and I only did the tutorial after I'd already played through the game and read through the book, so it was kind of like redundant at that point. But from what I saw of it, I kind of just like skimmed through it. It was a really cool looking tutorial. You basically download an app and it kind of walks you through the first scenario. It looked like it was really, really well done. But once again, I had kind of already played the game and learned it at that point, so it was a little redundant, so I didn't really like go through the tutorial as you should. But it was a cool option. So overall, I genuinely am impressed with this. I know. Is it better than Gloomhaven? No. I mean, I like it better than Gloomhaven, but at the end of the day, like, this isn't gonna be better than Gloomhaven. It's not gonna be better than Jaws of the Lion. It's gonna be in some ways worse experience, and in some ways more simplified and more streamlined, which might be better in some cases, but it's not, you know, I don't think this version, if you ask any diehard Gloomhaven fan that's played both, they're going to even say that this comes close to the full version. Once again, I don't have a lot of experience, so I can't speak too much, but I will say that this is my favorite version of Gloomhaven to date. And yeah, it's great. I think if you're a solo player that's never played Gloomhaven and has any interest whatsoever, this is the jumping in point. This is where you should start. This Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion might be a decent spot to start, but I think now that this exists, if you want to try the Gloomhaven series, a better way doesn't exist to start than this. And if you're, you know, a fan of Gloomhaven and you want to get into more solo gaming, I think this is perfect as like a small solo game that you really can play the scenarios, especially once you know the game pretty well and know the rules. I think you can play them definitely in under a half hour, probably pretty close to that 20-minute mark that they suggest. So, but yeah, I think very, very cool game. I am impressed. I'm impressed. I like it. So that's what I gotta say about the game. Good game. And yeah, like I said, I mean, there's still lots more scenarios to go through that we didn't even get like a quarter of the way through. But I'm happy with our progress. We at least made it to the arena challenge. I was hoping we'd beat it, but it seems like it's a little bit of a trickier one. And I had, like I said, some bad dice rolls in that last go, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, that was Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs. I don't want to say I'm sure, but I would like to return to this in the future. I had a good time playing as this. I think if I were to play this again, I would probably just pick back up here at scenario 5.5 with the Bruiser. I quite like the Bruiser. I tried some of the other characters Maybe there's gonna be some hot takes coming in. I didn't try all the characters. Like Spellweaver and Mind Thief are the two I didn't try because they seemed confusing. Silent Knife was okay. Tinker, I always liked the Tinker type characters, but they were really confusing to me. I feel like I just didn't know how to properly play them. Cragheart, I'm gonna be honest, Cragheart is my least favorite character I've played. I thought they were really boring and pretty underwhelming. They just felt like a worse version of the Bruiser. Might be a hot take, I don't know, but sorry to all the Cragheart fans out there. That's just how I feel. But yeah, I like this, and I would definitely be down to, finish this, and then at some point maybe try it a different, run through this campaign again, but with a different character on a more difficult difficulty too. Those would be, some things I would definitely think about. Yeah, I don't think I want to bump up the difficulty anytime soon, because obviously, I still gotta learn the game a bit, learn the ropes, learn the strategies of Gloomhaven. But I'm getting there. The more I'm playing, I'm getting there. I think, I made it a respectable distance today. I think I only had to do the last scenario twice, but yeah, that's that. So that's my little final thoughts. I'll switch my quick just chatting screen before I hop out here. Thanks for the great chill stream. No problem, Dean. Appreciate you hanging out. It's good to finally play this game. I was supposed to play last week and got all busy. But yeah, glad to finally play it, and glad to be back, after my little week hiatus. But I gotta do that every now and again. I get a little busy. Yeah, I'll quickly tease out what's upcoming on the channel. I already kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but I was supposed to do my Gen Con video last week. Sorry, I'm still pulling up my schedule. I need to double check, even though it's two things and I should have it pulled up beforehand. Oh, that's right. So yeah, Gen Con video was supposed to be last week, and this stream was supposed to be last week, but neither happened. So everything's getting pushed to this week. So video for this week coming out Wednesday if you're a tier 2 member, or Thursday if you're not, will be my Gen Con video. It's not going to be anything too crazy. It's just going to be me going over my top 10 games to demo and top 10 games to buy at Gen Con. And these will just be my picks for Gen Con, top 10. It's not like I'm trying to pick like what's the hottest games that everybody should be getting. It's like, no, if I'm just sharing my opinions on what I think the top 10 games to buy and try are. So I'll be going over 20 different games and just kind of briefly talking about each of them and why I think you should buy or try them. So that'll be the video this week. And then next week's stream is currently undetermined because it will be a tier 2 decided stream, and I'm putting out the poll early tomorrow morning. Normally I do this a bit more in advance, so I actually know what the stream's going to be when I do this like the week before, but normally I would have done the poll last week, but then yeah, my whole schedule got thrown off because of last week. So I've been trying to kind of get everything back where it should be. So yeah, next week's stream will be something, be whatever the tier 2 YouTube members decide it's going to be. Yeah, I don't even, sometimes I have like ideas in mind of things I want to return to. Right now I got nothing, so we'll just we'll see what they say. And if you want to help support the channel and help choose one of the streams each month and get access to videos one day early, then consider becoming a tier 2 YouTube member. It's a thing on YouTube you can do, and it's a way to help support the channel. I have a full-time job, so it's not like this is a job for me. I just do this for fun, and any money I get through the channel, I put directly back into the channel. I don't really pocket any of it. I don't use any of it for new games. I just use it for new equipment for the stream. At some point down the line, I'd like to maybe hire like an editor so I can do like, social media stuff and maybe put out more videos so I don't have to worry about that as much. So, getting stuff like stream overlays and I don't know, new equipment. Like I got a new mic fairly recently. So that was, that's thanks to you guys that watch and help support me. So if you want to help do that more, YouTube member is a great way to do that. So yeah, that'll be next week's stream will be YouTube member decided stream. great to see this game in action. Thank you for the stream. Appreciate you popping by, Derek. Yeah, I'm glad I got to play this game, and hopefully I did it some justice in its explanation and playthrough. But yeah, it's a good one. I highly recommend this, especially if you're a Gloomhaven fan or want to get into the Gloomhaven series. This is like the ideal starting spot. Look, just in time for you to wrap up. Oh man, I'm sorry, Christopher. Welcome on in though. Happy Sunday to you too. Yeah, we're just about to wrap up here, but appreciate you stopping in. Yeah. So that's the schedule, and that's kind of what we got going on. I will say, just, you know, my schedule last week was pretty non-existent. I was kind of all over the place. And just to put it out there that I think over this next month, my schedule is going to be kind of still kind of hit and miss. So, I mean, I know Gen Con's coming up. So is that next? That's next week, not this upcoming week. So next weekend. So like next weekend. So 2 Sundays from now, I'm not going to be streaming because of Gen Con. The videos should be fine. But I'm just tentatively saying over this next month, videos and streams might be a little sporadic, or, you know, videos might be a day later than they're normally, or streams might not happen. I'll try to keep y'all updated as much as I can. I'll try to be better about that, especially in my Discord. If you want to be up to date on what's going on, I'm usually pretty active in my Discord. I've not been lately, admittedly, so I would try to be better about that, about posting, you know, channel updates and schedule stuff like that to there. So if you're active on Discord, there's a link in the description if you want to hop in on that. And that's kind of what I got. That's where we're at. So where'd the box go? There it is. I was like, it's not. Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs. What a fun game. I'm impressed. I was getting, you know, I was playing this a lot this last week. I was getting a little bored of it, especially because and maybe that's on me. I kept playing the first like 3 scenarios, but I was cycling between different characters. So that's why I was really glad to get past this first couple of scenarios and get to some enemies that weren't just guards and archers. So that the arena challenge was a lot of fun. And yeah, no, I like this game. It does take up a surprising amount of table space, even for how small the game is. Not that it takes up like a lot, but just, you know, comparatively for the box, it takes up a good amount of space. But you know, definitely not Gloomhaven amount of space. Yeah, but that's what I got. That's where we're at. So I think I'm gonna kind of wrap up there for today. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this stream, a like is always greatly appreciated. Likes, you know, on YouTube, they're one of the main metrics I kind of look at to really gauge how well people liked a video. It's kind of sounds, you know, pretty simple, but I mean, at the end of the day, I have a couple of like analytic metrics to look at for a video. I can see how many views it gets, how many likes it gets, and how many comments it gets. And I kind of use those as a general guideline to see what people like and watch and what people don't like and don't watch. So if you do like this stream and like this stuff, leave a like, leave a comment, you know, once the stream's over. That it just it helps, you know, the YouTube algorithm as well, but it helps me know, you know, what people like and what people don't like, what people want to see more of, what people want to see less of. I do quite often, you know, at least we'll look at, you know, what streams get good views and which ones get a lot of likes and which ones don't, and kind of use that to go forward to, you know, on what I do in the future. So that's that, and thank you all so much, of course, that came by and watched live. I always greatly appreciate that. I love live streaming, and it always makes it better having some of you fine folks to chat with and watch me go get shrunken down in the world of Gloomhaven and fight for my life. That's always a fun time. So yeah, I gotta turn on my good outro music here, or else I can't go out on just nothing. We'll go with this song. Good song. And then I got to turn up the volume, right? Okay, cool. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see ya. Have a good week, everybody. Go play some Gloomhaven, any version of it. But if you want the good version, play this one. This one of the best.
this life, we just keep on keeping on and feel it out till it feels right. Everybody making plans and hoping they gon' be alright. Well, ain't that how it goes with all of our goals? I think it's okay to not have it all figured out, and I think it's okay to be a human full of doubt. Listen, this is the condition that we all living in, and as the world keeps spinning round and round, we just trying to fit in. But at the same time, we try to be outstanding. Hold on to our truth and